Hello, Dr. Tawana Worlds by birth, also known as a disruptor. Did you know that millions who grow up in poverty also die in poverty? Have you ever heard the saying, what good can come out of the hood? Well, I'm here to disrupt for just a minute. Yes, I was that little girl that grew up in the hood, grew up in the ghetto, single mother, absent father, eating out of the trash can just to survive. But I was also that girl that determined way back then that I was not going to become a product of my past. And now I help others do the same thing. I'm not a victim, I'm a victor. I help men and women from similar backgrounds find value in their own vault and create wealth from within. All right. Hello again. Hello, family. Hello, cousins. Hello, everybody. Okay. I am going to take 30 seconds, literally 30 seconds, to ask everybody that is coming in right now to go ahead and share. While I share, I'm asking that you share. Okay. And we want to make sure, as I was just saying previously, I'm going to say it here now, dating Caden for our kids. We want to make sure they're not coming for yours. You're going to hear 3 powerful stories on this live from mothers who have lost their children to a systemic tragedy. And like I said, we're remembering them and we are sharing their stories because their stories need to be and must be heard. But more so, I know me, I'm sharing their stories because y'all babies, y'all nephews and nieces, they coming for them too. Okay, so please share. Let me go ahead and get set up over here. I'm going to play something motivational real quick while I go ahead and get them admitted into the room, make sure they're good to go. And then we're going to take off, okay? That's how we're going to flow. That's how we're going to work. I'm getting set up over here now. And we're not going to hold y'all long, but this is going to be a powerful, I do need to get up and grab me a towel because I don't think this tissue is going to be sufficient. So I'm going to put something on really quick, motivational, and then I am going to get everybody in their position, and then we're going to go ahead and kick this thing off, okay? All right, here we go. Coach, what's his name? Marcus. Let me find him. Marcus Taylor. All right. Let me find something short, sweet, and straight to the beat. I think I'll play this one. All right, let me blow that up. I'm going to share my screen in just a second, waiting for it to load. Thank you, Tawana Border Jumper. Your story moved me. I lost a nephew 32 to the scourge of, oh my gosh. Took my sister 3 long years to finally come to grips. If you know somebody that had lost a child, please invite them, okay? A lot of them are not okay. It could be 20 years later and they still have that ache in their heart that they'll never go away. But thank you so much for being one of the greatest aunties and following me over here, sharing, your nephew's story in the comment section in the chat. I pray for your sister. I pray for your whole family. The whole family is impacted and affected. So I definitely send my condolences and my love and my hugs, virtual hugs, to you and your family. All right, let me play this real quick, get this popping. And then we'll be ready to.
I remember being on my job with no possibility of a future. And I will never forget the moment that a man walked up to me and looked me in my eyes and told me that this was the best I would be able to do. And I came to the resolve in that very moment that greatness.
Hold on, y'all. Let me see what in the world Satan, the Lord rebukes you. Let me just go ahead and say that first and
Would be my
foremost.
new norm. What he said to me
The
hit me
Lord
hard.
rebukes you.
It was a metaphoric, massive blow to my face. But like a wise man once said, you gotta pick your head up like your nose is bleeding. And right where they left you for.
Hold on, y'all, because y'all know how it go. Whenever you get ready to disrupt, tear some chains down, share some truth. The enemy wants to play games, but I'm the woman for the job. You hear me?
Dead. Elevate. Where he told me I would retire from. That this was the end of the line. I came to the resolve that I would not believe the lie. I could hear it in the air. That the voice of destiny would reside in the place where he wanted me to die. I made the decision to fight for my future. You will not pause. You will progress. You will not expire. You will evolve. You will not crumble in the midst of crises. You may be neck deep in what seems to be a catastrophic storm of chaos, but I pray that in this moment, you will find the calm, the peace, the hope, the faith, the courage, the expectancy you need to live and not die, to move up and not stay where you are. You get what you see. And that is the formula for expectancy. Your expectation is what you believe is about to happen. And for many of you, you have been so traumatized by the past that your expectations are so diminished. Your expectations have been dying a slow death because of the trauma of the past. You expect nothing. And so you feel like, if I don't expect anything, then you can't hurt me. If I have no expectation on you, then you cannot disappoint me. If you are going to win the fight for the future, you are going to have a high expectation. It was Kobe Bryant that said everything negative, pressure, and challenges is all an opportunity for me to rise. It's crises that reveals what we are comprised of. And I ask you the question, are you praying the darkness away, or are you becoming the highest version of yourself in the midst of the darkness? You know, when you find yourself standing in the middle of trial, tribulation, scarcity, and uncertainty, there is a process from flapping to flight. How you process pain will determine your future. I need you to fight for the future. Let that sink in for a minute. You are not your crises. You are not what you are going through. What are you expecting the outcome to be? Because you can't change what has happened. However, you can change what will happen. Your responsibility is, once you've gone from flapping to flight, is to protect your progress, to protect your territory. You got to get a real boss-like mentality with your territory.
All right, y'all. We're not gonna play. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and get started. They gonna come in. They'll coming on and coming in. I'm gonna first start it off. Okay. Because many of you guys do not know. And since we're waiting on them, I wanted them to kind of go first, but it's okay. I know things are happening. They're trying to get situated. and get in the room. And it takes a lot of courage and it takes a lot of strength to be able to share something so tragic. So I will take the lead and I will start first. And as you guys are constantly coming in, I continuously ask you to please share this everywhere. Okay. They took our babies. Now we speak. It's been a lot of years for me. Okay. Today is the day of my first deceased child who dropped dead at 15 years of age. And since it's his birthday today, I want to follow these questions, the guidelines of these questions, to just give you some backstory about who he was and what happened to him. Sometimes I've come by emotionally and say, "Hey, I miss my kid," and people will reach out, not really knowing. They'll ask, even in the comment section, still to this day, like, "What happened to your child?" And so, I have two children who were murdered. Okay, there are certain keywords you have to say for certain platforms. So they were unalive. They were silenced. That is the word that I will be using in replace of that. Both of them were silenced by the pharmaceutical industry, by medication. One legally prescribed, the other one street. And one of the sisters that we're going to have here on this interview has a baby and she's going to tell her story. Her baby was taken out by the same street illicit medication. And then the other sister is going to be sharing her story of how her baby was taken out from the sanation. Okay. Um, and like I said, it's very painful. The second lady we grew up together. We went to middle school together. We both had our children around the same time. Their birthdays are within days of each other. Their death days are within days of each other. But I am going to pull up Kev Ryan's photo so that you can get a visual while I tell the story. And I'm going to be telling him and my other son, my oldest son, Kavan Ray's story. All right. All right, all right, all right. Let me grab this really quick. Let's go to my page and pull up a story. Pull up his photo. It's really sad that a lot of people that I come out here and serve, I'm really examining and evaluating a lot of things in my life. I will say that first and foremost, because it's sad that a lot of the people that I come and serve, I started coming to serve them because of the tragedies that happen with my own children, from my own lack of knowledge, from my own ignorance. I began to become the voice and to become, the person on the front line so that they don't get to yours. And it's sad that I've shared this everywhere, literally. Okay. And it's not more than just a few people here. And I do know that Facebook and YouTube suppresses my stuff because I am a truth teller. That's why I always come by here and I always ask you guys to share. That is the main reason I ask for this to be shared. Secondly, it is very painful to know that this is my form of justice and the people that I'm fighting for can't even come and support me or the other ladies in such a tragedy that we have gone through, and we out here on the front line. We literally out here on the front line. One of them is trying to pass legislation so it don't get your child, and don't think that it can't hit you. Don't think that it won't come to your door. Don't think it won't never be your child. My child never did drugs. I would have. I was so uneducated about street drugs. We didn't do that in our house at all. They were not brought up around that. I was just devastated that my son would even reach out and ask somebody for something for pain that he didn't know, because we didn't do that. I didn't do any of these for none of my children. They were perfectly healthy, never went to the doctors, never went to the emergency room. I think my second oldest child had to go because she had an abscess in the back of her throat. Other than that, they were very healthy, normal children, as you can see on the screen. This is Kev Ryan, and this is Kev Ryan's story. They didn't just pass away, they were failed. And this is the reason, my why for my fight. So, um, I want to tell you about who he was. I had this child, my first previous five children. Um, I had them because I love them, and I've shared this story, a lot, especially for women who may be feeling like, unaliving their children and they can't do it. I'm talking about carrying them in the womb, unaliving them from the womb, the AB word. Um, I was violated in a actual way with my first previous children. So it was never a mutual, hey, we're going to go and we're going to lay down and we're going to make a baby. It was never any of that. I was very, I lived a rough life as a teenager. So I bounced from here to there, and that's how a lot of this stuff occurred. Me bouncing from place to place. Um, and his father was actually the only gentleman that I said, we gonna go together and we gonna raise a family. We gonna start a family. It wasn't right away, but it that was the person that I actually um, agreed to become a partner with. That's what I'm saying. And I'm just watching my words because I want to protect people's names, and I want to make sure while I'm protecting their names that the story is told in in humility and honesty, because it has the right to be told. A lot of you guys see me and don't know my backstory. I may have told you this is the reason why I'm doing it, but here you get to learn even more in depth. So I hooked up with his dad willingly, and we were together for about maybe 7 or 8 months before I found out I was pregnant with my son, Kev Ryan. Um, his father, I mean, it's not all bad, and I'm sure that people don't like to be painted in a negative limelight or perspective, and that is not my intention here. My intention is just to share my truth, and I'm not going to sugarcoat or hide anything or leave out anything. I will make sure I'm saying it with the proper, terminology, and excluding them or covering, protecting them. But to be honest with you, I have protected people all my life. Meanwhile, I haven't had many people to protect me. And this is a pain that I live with. I do want to one day be able to talk to other women about why it's so important to protect your pearls and to be careful about who you lay down with, because that bloodline stuff is real. The sins of the father in the bloodline, you must know it ain't enough to do a credit check on a man or a background check. Do a bloodline check, because you going to give birth to that bloodline seed. Okay? And even though we hooked up willingly, I was so damaged from a lot of things that I went through in my teenage years, situations that I went through with my previous children's fathers, um, that I was literally just looking for love. If a dog came along and said, "Hey, I love you," I probably would have been like, "Oh, okay." If you haven't shared and you just came in here, please share this. Very important. It's his birthday. I want to honor him. And when the other ladies come on, if they come on, I'm not even mad if they don't. I'm not even mad if they don't, because it is a hard task. And to the best of my ability, if they grant me the permission, then I will share it. I don't see them in the backstage yet. So I'm just saying, if they don't, coming before people and sharing something so personal and so tragic that you're still healing from, I get it. Okay. But hey, Shanti, my daughter's here. I'm going to have this is something that I'm going to be starting to host every single week. So if you have a story of loss, your child may not have gone in the manner that my child, or you may don't relate to our stories, but you have your own story of loss, whether that is your mother, whether that is your spouse, your husband, your child, your best friend, then I open and allow this platform to be the place where you can come and tell your truth, tell their story, tell your story, and get the support that it is that you need, get the love that you need to be loved on, and just let you know you're not alone. This is a journey that nobody asked for, but it's a part of life. So back to what I was saying, the father that I chose to be his father, just straight up. And this ain't to bash him. Back in the days, I can't speak for where he is now. I'm sure he's grown. But back in the days, he was a very wicked person. And he was born on Halloween, so he used to remind me like I'm the son of the devil. Now, I had spiritual insight because when I was first born, my grandmother dedicated me back to God. But I did not have a relationship with God. I was upset. I was angry at God for some things that happened, in my childhood with my own parents. So I didn't have a personal relationship with Him. Therefore, I was very naive. And like I said, if a dog came along to love me, then I would have accepted that. Um, he was very evil and abusive to me while I carried this child. Very, very, very abusive to me. Whatever trauma he dealt with in his childhood, with his mother, he was a misogynist. And if you don't know what a misogynist is, please go look it up. That way you don't fall into his snares. But a male who has mother issues operate in that misogyny. Hi, mom. My mom's on here. Woo woo. Um, but he was a misogynist and he had women issues. So he was very, very abusive. My children would come home from school and see this man putting his hands on me, beat me in my stomach with a bat. It came and seen the paramedics pick me up. My mom was there, had to go through all of this, lot of physical abuse. I ended up having this baby. Um, and I want to go back and share this because this is very important. Very, very important. While I was pregnant, I want to say around May, April or May, I wasn't in a relationship with God like that, but I knew very much so not to play with dark stuff, tarot cards, psychics, different stuff like that. I think I tried that one time in my life and chickened out. I signed up to get a call from Miss Cleo or something stupid like that. But I chickened out because I just didn't feel it was right in my spirit. Nevertheless, I'm going to stop the share for right now so I can be on full screen. It's hard for me to zoom in on that little box. But um, like around April or May, he contacted a psychic. And I was not on board with this one at all. I let him do what he did, right? Because he was very difficult to try to say you shouldn't be doing that and all of that stuff. He's like, I'm grown, start cussing me out and all that. So I let him do whatever it was he wanted to do. But after he got off the conversation, or either towards the end of the conversation, where the psychic was trying to offer him this stuff to bring into his house, which is my house, then I had to get involved. She's like, I need to send you some candles. You need to cleanse your house. You need to purify your house because in July, something tragic is going to happen. You need to make amends with all the people that you've wronged in your life. And you need to, get on a different path, a different journey, be more around your family. She was telling him that. And he like, get on the phone and she want to give you the information that we got to do, to purify our house. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I don't believe in any of that. Nothing that she's saying to you will ever enter my porch area. Well, she said in July something bad is going to happen, something traumatic is going to happen, and we need to do. I don't care what she said. Even though I don't have a relationship with God, my grandmother taught me how to pray. At least. I don't care if it was baby, now you lay me down to sleep prayers. I believed in God, but I did not walk with him. And I did not want to have anything in my house that was contrary to who, I served. So we had a big blowout. I did not get the candles and all the cleansing equipment that she claimed he would need. July comes, I started having complications like right around the middle of July. Um, and he was supposed to be born in August. Technically, he was supposed to be born like September, um, because I had him at like 32 weeks, 34 weeks, and they wanted me to go for 40 weeks. And then, they give you the extra 2 weeks, which is 42 weeks. Nevertheless, I started having complications. I started having a lot of pain, a lot of pulling, stretching pain. I ended up going into labor on July the 28th. And I labored all day. My doctor was like, I'm actually going to keep you because you've been back and forth to the doctor. I'm actually going to keep you. I think it's safe, to watch you and to monitor you, make sure everything is okay. If he want to come down, he can come down. And we'll let, nature take its course. So all that day I labored. I did not have anything to eat, anything of that sort. I labored all the way into the 29th. By 6 p.m. on the 29th, my doctor comes into my room and was like, you have literally been in labor over 27 hours and the baby is still high. We've even given you things because you're having active contractions to help speed up the process where he would come down and begin to cause you to dilate. That didn't happen. So he told me, I'm gonna run across town and pick up me a sandwich. If I come back by 10 o'clock and this baby ain't came down, we're gonna have to give you a cesarean. I had never ever had no cesarean. So I was petrified. I called my grandmother on the phone and asked her to pray because she's the one who taught me about God. So I'm like, could you pray? Because they said I'm going to have a C-section. I need this baby to come down, yada, yada, yada. So she prayed, got off the phone. I don't even think he was maybe halfway across town. And I felt hot and I felt like I needed to throw up because I hadn't eaten anything. So I'm thinking, oh, it's I'm starving. It's a starving type of sickness. But I tried to cough to make the throw up kind of go away, that feeling. I try to go, cough like that. And if you guys don't know, if you ever feel like flutters in your heart, I've learned this years later in medical school, but if you ever feel like your heart is palpitating or there's flutters there, or you're getting hot and you feel like you're about to vomit, if you cough, and I mean it got to be like a hard cough like that, it will regulate your heart rate. Okay, this is not medical advice. I'm just sharing with you from my experience and my education. I've used the technique. I know it works. So that's just a life-saving measure for somebody. But I felt like I had to throw up, and so I coughed like that. And when I did that, coughed, hard, a little hard to kind of suppress it, all I remember was just like doing one of these numbers, like really fast, like everything in the room was spinning fast, and then it just started spinning faster. So it went from this to like that. And then I remember kind of like looking over at the baby monitor because I didn't know what in the world was happening. I knew that I could not breathe. I know that I could not speak. And I looked at the baby's monitor. I seen his heart rate flatline. And then I kind of like set up to look down. And one of the ladies that was inside of my hospital room, she ran out and got the nurse and was like, "Something's wrong. There's a lot of blood coming from down there." And y'all give me, uh, y'all accept my apologies real quick. I didn't even go live on TikTok and Instagram. It just got started. So let me go ahead and do that real quick since I'm still right here in the beginning. Uh, okay, hold on one second. Let me make sure I'm live over here because I did tell my cousins over here that I would be live as well. All right, here we go. All right. So I'm sorry, cousins. I had already kind of got started over here on YouTube and Facebook. I am sharing the story. They silenced our children, but now we speak. Okay. They took our babies, but now we speak. That is the topic of tonight's live stream. I do have two women that's supposed to be here in the chat. They are not here yet. So I am taking the initiative to talk about my child who is no longer here with us, whose birthday it is today. So I'm breaking the ice and just kind of giving y'all a backstory because a lot of people don't know and they want to know what happened to your child. I'm telling you, I go in to have him. It's a complicated uh, labor. And then, at 6 p.m. on the 29th, the doctor tells me if this baby don't come down, I didn't did balls, I didn't did bars, I didn't did the whole 9 yards. Baby's not coming down. So if he's not down by 10 p.m., I would go and have a cesarean. And so I was terrified. I felt sick. I coughed, and then I started hemorrhaging. I lost all my oxygen like that, literally. When I tell you death happens really fast, it happens really fast. I knew that I was dying. I could not say anything, help me, save me. There was no words. I was losing all of the blood in my body, but by the grace of God, like literally by the grace of God, I am still here. So me and this baby passed away. I woke up 3 days later, sewed up, stitched up, had to learn how to walk again, had to learn how to urinate again. I did not get the regular cesarean cut. I got the emergency cut. Get this baby out, get this baby some oxygen. He was very little, very, very little. He was premature and he was deprived of oxygen. So he stayed in the NICU a little bit longer than I did. I was released maybe like 4 or 5 days. I had lost the total amount of weight 100 pounds in 3 days. And so they released me first and then they released him. My doctor was a believer at the time. I was not. I knew of God, but I was not in relation with God. And my doctor said, I don't know what you did before you came to this hospital, but I do know that your life belongs to God. And He is calling you to give your life to Him right now here on this hospital bed. I didn't remember having a baby. I didn't remember anything. I remember taking my last breath. But before I took my last breath, even though I had no words to speak, my tears spoke for me. And I said in my heart, God, if you're real, please save me. And He not only saved me, He saved my child. He gave us both life. Fast forward, me and his father didn't work out. Like I said, he was very, very abusive. I was abused all the way up until I went to have him. And after the fact, I found out that Um, After the fact, I found out that this is one of the ladies texting me. She can still jump on. She said, hold on one second, y'all. So after the fact, I found out that what I had was in comparison to um, somebody being in a plane crash without the bandages. Said I had a blood clot that actually set up in my uterus, and it probably was from when I was hit in my stomach with a bat that actually busted and separated my placenta. So that's how me and this child lost our life the day that I went to give birth to him. And when my doctor told me like whatever you did, hi Treva and Lala, my children and my mother is here, y'all. And they're going to be sharing their story too from a sibling's perspective. Death does not just affect the mother or the father. It affects the grandma. It affects the grandpa. It affects the sisters. It affects the brothers. It affects everybody. It is destructive and devastating. And if you know somebody who has lost their child, their mama, their daddy, get them on here. Y'all doing y'all big one over here on TikTok. And I love y'all for that. I really do. The hearts, thank you so very much. If you don't mind sharing, even if you just hit that share button, copy that link, it lets the algorithm know to recommend this video inside of the For You. And I know I ain't been over here in a very long time, but it allows for it to be promoted in the For You page, which means the world to me. I said it before, what has happened uh, to our children has happened, but we're telling their story so it don't happen to your children. And it takes a lot of courage and a lot of strength to be able to do this. So please share this. They didn't got ours, they after yours next. And that's why we sharing their stories. And I want you to hear, one of the sisters is here. So I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna bring her on the screen um, while I continue, but she's gonna get into her story. Hi, Sister Ashley. I am so glad you made it. I know it is very, it's traumatic to relive, re-speak, all of that. So shout out to you. You
Thank
are
you.
strong soldier. It takes a strong soldier to be able to do and live life after something so traumatic. And so I'm going to give you the floor in just a moment. I was just, sharing. Y'all say hi to Ashley. You guys will be able to hear her because I got two cameras going on over here. When I need to flip it, I will flip it so that you guys can see, but you guys will be able to hear. I'm going to finish up Kev Ryan's story. It is his birthday today. I want to honor him, and just let y'all know. I'll come back and tell Kavan Ray's story because I have two deceased children. Um, and like I said, one was taken out by a prescription, and the other one was taken out by a prescription that was not really prescribed. And so after I had this baby, I had a new lot on life. God saved my life, and not only did He save my life, He saved my baby's life because we both died during that ordeal. And I want to say, fast forward about maybe he was 5 years of age. I was at home and I heard the Spirit of God speak to me and tell me to get up and take myself to go have lunch. And so I asked my mom to watch the children. I was commanded not to take any of the children. And I asked my mom to watch the children. And so she did that. I went to lunch and I clearly heard, as I was midway into my lunch, I clearly heard the Holy Spirit of God tell me, I'm going to take your child home. And I tried to rebuke it. I was like, the devil is a liar. By this time, 5 years of age, my doctor's like, give your life to Christ. So I literally gave my life to Christ. By this time, I'm able to hear from him in the spirit. And he told me, I'm going to take your baby home. And so I rebuked it because I thought it was an evil spirit. But it would not leave my spirit. One thing, when the enemy speaks, he speaks to the mind, the ear gate. But when God speaks, he speaks to the spirit. And so I couldn't shake what I heard. I didn't want to accept it. And then when I finally did accept it and was like, God, if that's really you, then tell me when this will happen. And he said, when he's a teenager. And so I was shook. I got myself up. I went on back home, went back to motherly duties. And I kid you not, I forgot all about it. I literally forgot all about it. As we were growing together, I forgot what he said to me. But he told me it will happen when he's a teenager. Fast forward, when I put him into school, I believe it was on like his third day of being in school. They was like, he need to be tested. All he want to do is draw, and he loves to fix his clothes 100 times a day. He was very into fashion. He can draw you sitting there looking at you. He was very gifted and very artistic, and it was just too much for the school. And so the school instantly, I'm naive. I want to do, every mother wants to do the best for their child, whether they're knowledgeable about it or not. So I'm like, look, I want my child to go to school. I want him to get an education like he rightfully deserves. I will take him to get tested. I was in there with this man for 10 minutes before he diagnosed my baby with having ADHD and ODD. And basically, he asked me basic questions. Do he like to fight with his siblings? Yeah. Do he like to make friends? Regular questions that boys do. So I gave him the truth, and he's like, yeah, we diagnosed him with ADHD, ODD. I'm like, what is that? I'm so uneducated about that. I was like, it's like, oh, okay, it's hyperactivity. Some boys have it. Sometimes it's genetically. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So he was like, well, we have, a remedy. We have a solution for it. We can actually give him medication. When they say medication, it was like you stabbed me in the heart with a dagger, because I did not grow up giving my children medication. It was just something that I did not like to do, even myself. I had all my children natural birth and cesarean with no medication, no pain meds at all. And so when they mentioned the medication, I was like, nah, I know how to handle my son. I don't know what he do when he come to school, but I know how to handle my son. If I need to show up to the classes, whatever the case may be, I will do that. Whatever I would have to do for his best interest. So they was like, okay, no problem. I go home 2 or 3 days later, my kids are in the chat. They will tell you CPS showed up to my door to take all my kids. They said he was now medically diagnosed with that's the thing. They had to give him the diagnosis, because now they can hit me with a medical neglect if I don't give him this medication, and threaten to take all of my children. I'm talking about a system here on today, y'all. A system that has never been in our favor, but against us. So this is what happened. I said, I'm faced with them taking 6 of my children. I got 6 children. So now I'm faced with them taking all 6 of my children. So I said, look, I'm going to give it to him Monday through Friday while he is in school, but I will not give it to him on the weekends, and I will not give it to him during any vacations, because I know how to handle my child. Make a long story short, they made me go and blood test him every month. I had to take him to the doctor and make sure that his blood was tested to make sure the medication was inside of his system, in order for me not to have my children removed from the home. When he got about 12 or 13, he started complaining about chest pain. He was like, my heart hurt. And me being in medical school, I'm like, where is your heart? Because sometimes we have muscles and stuff up in here that we think is our heart. So I'm like, where is your heart? When he pointed in the center, I'm like, let me take him to the hospital. I took him to the hospital. His levels was elevated to that of a 65-year-old man in full-blown cardiac arrest. They kept him, they monitored him, sent me home and told me nothing was wrong with him. They did echograms, they did echocardiograms, they did EKGs, they had him meet with a cardiologist, and they said nothing was wrong with him. About a couple of months later, we had to take him back for the same symptoms. He was hospitalized 4 times, and every time they never said stop the medication. They never said stop the medication. They said stop him from playing sports, limit his activity, never stop the medication. Moving forward, on April 18th, 2018, we got up like a normal day. I took my baby to school. He said, I love you, Mama. I said, I love you too. He called me in the middle of the day because he was just very clingy. Y'all know if you a boy mom, you already know. They are very clingy. Thank you, sis. Thank you. And so he called me after he got out of school. He said, I'm gonna go to my homeboy house and I'm gonna shoot basketball. I said, I'm on my way to come pick you up. He said, are we still going to Walmart? And I'm like, yeah, he was spoiled rotten, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. He whatever he wanted, he can get. Okay. So I said, I'm on my way. While I was riding over to pick my baby up, he dropped dead on the basketball court.
Wow.
15 years of age, perfectly healthy child. I didn't know why, what happened, any of that. We found out after he passed away that he suffered 4 heart attacks on that medication.
Oh, wow.
He suffered 4 heart attacks on the medication, and that is what killed my baby. There is a lot of cousins in my community that I know whose children is on the same medication. Some of them is on the medication because it comes with a social security check. Some of them is on the medication because the school is harassing them left and right. And I'm not saying get your baby off of it. It took for me to lose mine to go see that my baby was number 476 child to pass away from this. You can go look them up on YouTube. They call Adderall Angels. You'll see a whole platform of other children who either died in the same manner, riding their bike in their bed, playing basketball, whatever the case may be. I found out that this was the same ingredients as crystal meth. I did
Wow.
not know that my child. Um, and then I found out that it was a lose lose situation anyway. If you put them on it, it could either make you ooicidal, put an S on it, or homicidal, put an H on it, or end up being a drug addict for the rest of their life, or have, uh, disabilities such as heart issues, complications, different things of that sort. So I want to tell his story not from a sympathy perspective. When I looked at my child on that table, that is something that I will never forget. That is something that I will never forget. His eyes were shocked wide open. He was not expecting to die. He was in shock. I know he was looking for me, and I was looking for him. And when I looked at that baby on that table, even though his voice was silent, it's like his spirit spoke to me and said, Mama, I need you to take care of yourself because I need you to fight for me. And baby, I have not stopped fighting since that day. And I will not stop fighting until the last breath of me, to not only tell his story, but to save some of my nephews and my nieces. I don't care if I don't know them or not. This has been shoes that I have had to wear forcefully. I didn't ask for this. But my baby, and what makes it really worse is that I don't get no justice for him. Who I'm going to take to court? The government? I can't take them to court. There's nobody who will be held accountable for his unalivement. So this is my justice. What we're doing here on today is justice for us. And if you haven't shared, share even more so now, if you don't mind, whether you are watching on the live or the replay, because now I am going to let baby Cash's mother, her name is Ashley, tell her story about her baby. And I'm going to ask you some questions, so we know about your baby, your story. Anything you don't want to answer, you don't have to. Anything that you don't want to stay say, or you don't have to. This is your time. This is your moment. I want everybody to support my sister right here. Her baby is young, and what happened to her baby should never happen to any babies. I have another son, the one that I'm wearing on the front, that had the same thing happen as her child. I have two babies in the dirt behind a system. One, pharmaceutical system, and then another one, this stuff is being pummeled into here, and we don't make it, we don't mix it. It's being manufactured in another country and pummeled, I mean, just over the borders. And please don't think that it cannot happen to your child, because we all thought it would never be us.
Right.
We all thought that. Okay, so um I am going to ask, hold on, this the other sister because I want her here too. I'm going to ask you, just to give us some backstory, just some questions. Click the link, says we are waiting for you. Cool. I want you to just, whatever is on your heart,
Um,
I want
okay.
you to tell us just a little bit about your child, your personality, about you, however you want to share. You have
Okay. Okay. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
Like she said, my name's Ashley. I'm Baby Cash's mom. He is forever 3 due to fat mouth poisoning. Um, but as I was listening to you, I couldn't help it
I
when you
know.
said you seen your baby on the table. I was like, oh my gosh, the same thing with me. It's you can't forget it. Like it's etched forever in your brain. Um, but just like you, when my baby was born, I heard the spirit too. I heard God tell me I wasn't gonna have this baby that long. And I couldn't shake it. Like I would go to sleep crying about it. When he was here, I would see him and run and hug him, like when I got that thought, like treasure him. You're not gonna have him that long. And I heard it loud. It wouldn't go away. And this
Mm.
is from the first time I held him. And I was like, what do I want my baby to die? Like, why do I keep on thinking that he's gonna die? It felt
Oh,
so
oh,
odd.
wait. Hold on, sister. I'm trying to get you to where you're on the screen by yourself, but I might just have to sit here
You're
like
fine
that.
like
We just
this. Yeah, you're
Okay,
fine like
okay,
this.
okay.
But yeah, so like I heard the same thing. I'm like, why am I hearing this? I didn't know if it was because of he was gonna get sick, was he gonna get hit? Because he was super fast. Like people nicknamed him Speedy because he was super
Really?
fast. He
Yeah,
was super fast. Like for 3 years old, like he gave us a heart attack when he started running because we didn't know where he was going to go, if he was gonna
yeah,
run out into the street, like it
yeah,
yeah, he was one of them babies. Like super fast.
yeah. Kept
But
you on your toes. That's how
yes, he
Brian
did.
was too.
Yes, he did for sure. He kept me on my toes. So his story came about, he it's hard because like I was a good mother. My kids are my world. So
Yes.
at 26, I was only smoking weed and drinking and popping the X pill here and there, but wasn't it was recreational, but
Mhm.
it was uh it was nothing too major to me because I didn't know about fentanyl. I didn't know about all the other thing, lace stuff. Like I heard about it, but it never hit home for me. So I thought I was exempt.
Yeah.
So at 26, a close friend of mine, a friend I've been on for 14 years at the time, he wanted to try the recreational drug with me, and he wanted to try cocaine with crack cocaine at that. But it started off with cocaine, and he wanted me to do things to him while we was doing that, and I trusted him because it was 14 years. Like even before he had proposed me, I had other people propose me with cocaine, and I never said yes to it because I didn't trust it. But because it was him, I
Mhm.
trusted it. So I found out I didn't like cocaine. I didn't like the taste in my mouth and the sniffling of my nose and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So that's when, or the cocaine, yeah. So that's when I he came up with the crack one day while we was doing recreational stuff, and I'm like, I like this. What is it? Because I told him I would never touch the drug crack.
Mhm.
It was one of them things I didn't want to touch. I knew my mom had did it, and she had 7 kids with my dad, and had left us for drugs. So, to me, I was like, I won't be like her. I'll never be like her, and that's why I tell people never say never. But what you laugh at today, could you be crying about
Yeah.
tomorrow? So, um, a simple indulgence in that got me hooked. And within 2 years, for the first year I was functional and everything was going smooth. By the second year, it caught up to me. Riding home with the dope man, I got pulled over, and the first charge ever because they found it on me. So CPS came in because I got charged with it. And plus, I was on Section 8. So all that is linked together. So with Section 8, you can't get criminally charged with anything. And so with drug use, that and domestic violence, like it's automatic kick off the program.
Yeah.
So once CPS can't get involved, they came in. That was like, hey, you're doing good. You're a good mom. Just stop your drug use. I couldn't stop, so they ended up taking my kids within a month after opening the case. And so that took me downhill. People don't understand how mothers can continue to smoke and do drugs after their kids are taken, and they're like, if you love your kids, you will stop doing it, and you'll get back to your kids. It's not that simple.
Yeah.
To
It's
me, it took me deeper into my addiction when they took my
yeah.
kids. Now I
Yeah.
have nothing to live for.
Yes.
Yeah. And it took me on the deep end of losing them. So for 2 years, one year I was complying a little bit off and on, and then the next year I was like, I can't let them see me like this, so I didn't comply. So by me not complying for a year, they came to me. They sent me a termination of rights letter and said, "Hey, if you don't comply within 3 months, we're going to take your kids from you permanently." And me having strong faith in God, like even while I was walking the streets and stuff,
Yeah.
He never failed me. Like I never had to want for anything. Like even though I was prostituting and stuff like that, it came real easy for me. I'm not saying this as a bragging thing, but
Right. Yeah.
it was easy for me to get picked up. It was easy for me to, get the money that I needed. Like I never got into a situation but once where a gun was pulled on me because he was trying to, rob me basically.
Wow.
So out of the 2 years of me walking the street, that was the only confrontation, that evil confrontation that I had. Other than that, I always had a place to see. I always had like a John to call because everybody wanted to call me back and stuff. It wasn't like I had to go chasing it every single day. So
Yeah.
I called myself blessed, but because I didn't have to go through what a normal addict goes through, I see them struggling. I see the dealers treating them bad and stuff. Actually,
Yeah.
out there when I was walking, I had mad respect, because I
Yeah.
carried myself good. Even though I was an addict, I did carry myself like with my head up. No, you ain't gonna treat me like a junkie. You're not gonna talk to
Yeah.
me like a junkie. Um, I was a functioning addict, and I never did anything crazy off of it. I didn't bring my family into it. I never stole from nobody. I got it how I used my body,
Yeah.
to get what I needed. So, and I'm not saying it was a good thing, but it was a process. It was a process that
Yeah.
I went through, and I can easily emphasize with addicts now because I went through it. So, long story short, after that termination of rights letter, that day I got it, I dropped to my knees and I asked God. I was like, I don't want to be like this no more. Can you send me a sign? Please send. I was begging him, dope in my hand
Yeah.
and everything. I'm begging him. I'm like, send me a sign, because I can't do this on my own. I tried rehab and I couldn't do it. Like I lasted 3 or 4 days and that was it.
Yeah.
So I asked God with out my heart, with a pure heart. I was, I want to get clean.
Yes.
And I didn't know how he was going to do it. But a week later, I found out I was pregnant with my baby. And so,
Mm. Ooh, Lord, help us tonight. Yes. Take your time because this is difficult. It really is. And I'm
he
very
called me
sorry.
back. After I found out about him, I checked myself into rehab 3 days later and never looked back. I
Yes.
cold turkey stopped.
Wow.
I knew he was my sign from God to get clean. It
Yes.
was it was just too soon, it just happened in perfect timing. It was almost like I heard him say, if you can't do it for yourself, do it for this baby. And
Yes.
I did. I did. I got back involved. I went to drug court. I did all my drug screens. I did all of that. And even while I was still fighting, because my daughter was 17, so she was aging out. But my son,
Mhm.
he was like 9 when Cash was born. So I had a lot of time to, he still had a lot of time left.
Yes.
And so while I was pregnant, I came up dirty 18 times. And they kept threatening me, like, when his baby's born, if he's dirty, we're gonna take your baby from you and stuff. And I'm like, test him, test
Yeah.
everything. I don't know what's going on in y'all end, but I'm not using, like, I know I'm not. So when he was born, they really thought that they said if he is dirty, the option that you have is to go to rehab with him.
Mm.
And we'll send you, you'll keep your
Mm-hmm.
baby, but you got to go to rehab and complete the program. Cause see, when I checked myself into rehab when I was pregnant with him,
Mm.
I left after a month because I'm like, I don't need a program to tell me not to smoke and, give
Right.
me life skills
Right.
and stuff. I know what to do, especially because I
Yeah.
was a late bloomer. I got pregnant with him when I was 31. So
Okay.
yeah, so I knew my life skills and I knew all I had to do was just say no. Like, so I didn't need a program. So I walked out of that program, but I could, like I said, I was pregnant with him. So I did my court and my drug screens with DFC and stuff. Well,
Mm.
with DFC, I kept coming up and drug court. I kept coming up positive. So they was like, if he does come up positive, we're going to send you to rehab, which is with your baby back to the
Mm.
same rehab that I was in because it was a mother and children's type of rehab, Volunteers of America, the Freedom
Mm.
House. So, long story short, they put me into rehab until his test came back for his meconium, his first meconium, and his
Mm.
placenta negative. He was negative
Yeah.
for everything. And
Yeah.
so, right.
Yeah.
And I kept telling them, I'm like, I don't know what's going on y'all's end, but those tests are not accurate.
Right.
So it got to the point where for 2 years, I was fighting DFC, a year and a half, while I was pregnant, for the 7 months. 'Cause I found out I was pregnant with him at 2.5 months pregnant.
Okay.
So by that time, when I got clean, nothing harmed him. They was like, only after 4 months, after
Yeah.
4 months, if it's, if you're doing anything at 4 months pregnant, and after it'll be in the baby system. I was
Right.
2.5 months when I got clean. So he didn't come up positive for
Yes.
nothing. So
Yes.
then I was fighting DLC, like I said, and by the 2 year mark, they came to me and was like, "Look, your case is stagnant," because I kept coming up positive for cocaine, the metabolite of cocaine. It was never a full panel of cocaine. It was
Yeah.
always the metabolite of it, and it was always like 0.28 and things like that. And
Mm.
it got to the point where I'm like, "Look, I need more drug screens done on me." So they were doing 3 at a time, 3 in a day, and it'll come back one positive and two negative. And I'm
Yeah.
like, in the court, and the judge, she would always count me positive because of that one negative. And I'm like, y'all are cheating me.
Yeah.
Why aren't y'all doing the urine screens on me, which are coming up negative, and the oral screens are coming up positive? So I didn't know what was going on with them tests, but I pleaded with them, find out on y'all's end what's going on, because it's not me. I'm showing up for court on time. I'm asking y'all to give me extra drug screens. Y'all want me to do 3 NA classes, or yeah, NA classes, and I'm
Yeah.
giving y'all 6. Like, where does that scream attic? And then I told them, if I was dipping and dabbling, y'all wouldn't see me. Because I
Right.
know what it did the first time. I
Right.
went off the deep
Yeah.
end. Y'all wouldn't even
Exactly.
see me. I'm present. And that's when COVID hit. So we did the Zoom meetings for court, and I'm the first one on the screen. I'm always there on time. I was, it's just, thank you. I feel your pain. Really is. I went through some of the things you went through. I feel your pain. God bless. Thank you. Thank you so much.
That's my mama.
Hey,
Yes.
hey, hey, mama. So, yeah, so at the 2 year mark, they told me my case was stagnant and that if I didn't sign over my rights to my 11-year-old at the time, my son, that they was going to take cash too, or voluntary, yeah, involuntary.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to cut off a finger to save the hand. I'm like, my 11-year-old knows me, but cash was only one at the time. So I'm like, there's no way I can give him up, keep fighting these people to try to figure out why my tests are coming up positive or just say fuck it
Yeah.
and sign my rights over to my son. Now at the time my son was in my aunt's care and she was aiming to adopt him.
Mm-hmm.
But it came out that after they cut my visitations off with him, she was abusing him, starving him, over medicating him, like what you said with your son with the Adderall and stuff. He wasn't on Adderall, but he was on a medicine, and
Yeah.
they for his ADHD. And I kept saying, like you, I grew up not giving my
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
medicine. I didn't believe in that, so
Yeah.
I can relate to a lot of what you was saying when you was just speaking. And I just was like, I don't want him on medicine, so they try to hit me with the medical neglect
Yeah.
too. So
Yeah.
and we did the same thing. Only during the school will he have this medicine. On the weekends, he's not getting
Yes.
this medicine. So
Yeah.
I went through all that too. So I could definitely relate to you on that. But after we found out that he was getting abused by my aunt, and at the time I had just met my husband.
Mm-hmm.
I met him in 2021, and I
Mm-hmm.
had signed my rights over to my son like at the end of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So they were still trying to finalize it. Once they finalized it with my aunt, it was up to her if she was gonna let me continue to see him. Well, I got when because every time I would try to come up and pop, she used to let me pop up and see him, and then she stopped. She was like, "Oh, DFC's got wind of it, and you can't keep popping up over here." And I was wondering why. I would bring him shoes, she would turn them down, like buying him all these Jordans and stuff. She would turn them down. I would go to visitations with food and she'd tell him, no, you can't eat that. You already ate. But he's starving. He's like, Mama, can I get some of this? And I give him my whole food, because I
Right.
figured something was going on. And
Yeah.
I just never, I didn't have actual proof, but I ended up calling DFC once they cut my visits off. I ended up calling DFC and making a report on her. They did pop up on her to see what was going on. And after they popped up, she ended up signing her rights over to him and gave them back to the system. So, yeah, it was
Wow.
bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so then they wanted to come after Cash. And long story short, I had him for his first year, and then coming up on his second year, well, the beginning part of his first year, he was born in October. By April, I was sending him to his dad's. Like I would only see him on the weekends. So I'm thinking DFC ain't gonna pop up and
Yeah.
stuff because
Yeah.
they were
Yeah.
still trying to open up a case on him. Well, long story short, because my test kept coming up, like I got all my drug screens and everything. I got proof. It was
Mm-hmm.
over 13 times where I did 3 tests in a day on the same day, 3 drug screens, and one only came up positive, and they will always use those against me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so I got all that. I still got all
It
that
might be
information.
it might be they test, they actual test
That's
doing
what
that.
I've been telling them that. And then somebody sent me an article about a month ago where one of these drugs companies that was working for DFCs, like an independent drug company, the director got put in jail because she was falsifying those drug screens, and a lot of families were broken up and kids were taken away permanently due to her falsifying them drug screens. So I honestly think that was happening with me.
Yes.
I really do. I honestly, but my son is in my care right now, even though, okay, so
Yes.
long
Thank you.
story short, I know, right? It's a lot to my story. It really is. I'm gonna write a
That's
book one day.
okay. That's
But
okay. You should
I
write that
had
book.
to
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
had to I had to tell his dad when they was trying to open up a case. Is that my fault? Is that my
No, I
fault?
think it's Sister Kalila. Is your air on, babe?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Okay, wait, hold on.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
so long story short, yeah, I went through a lot. I went through a lot. So long story short, I had to tell his dad when they was trying to open up a case. It was the day of the preliminary hearing, and they were deciding DFC was deciding if they were going to open the case or not. So I
Mhm.
had to tell his dad to go on the Zoom meeting and tell them people that he has my son 24/7. He does supervised visits with me. He does think I'm still using. He thinks I'm not a safe place. I told him and this black lady that worked and what that was doing my visits and because the visits got stopped, we still kept in contact and she was letting me know on her end because she worked in the system for 30 years. She was
Mhm.
like, I know how they work. Tell your baby daddy to go in there and be against you and your case won't get open. And that's exactly what we did. And they were like, well, we don't see no reason to open up the case. And the judge was so mad about that. Like she had been against me since they did. Okay, so I did a hair follicle when I
Mhm.
pleaded with them, like, take my hair. Like I'm not
Yeah.
using, but I had dreadlocks. And for 4 years I was smoking dope and I
Yeah.
never washed or detoxed my dreads. So when they
Yeah.
did the hair follicle, even though they said it was new growth that they took, that those new growths still had cocaine in it.
Yeah.
So when that came up positive for cocaine after they did that, she was against me. She was with me until I did the hair follicle. But then when
Okay.
they found out after the hair follicle that I still had cocaine in my system, it was supposed to be new growth. She would totally went against me. So when she learned that the prosecutor for DFC didn't want to open up a case on me,
Mhm.
because Jeff had, well, my baby's dad had custody of Cash,
Yeah.
she was mad. She was like, "Okay, get off my screen." I'm like, "Oh yeah, she's pissed because she couldn't take another black child from somebody." That's what I thought. I don't care what
Yeah.
nobody say
Yeah.
around.
That's
If they
right. That's
I was
right.
in I was in Jeffersonville, Indiana, and I was the only black participant in their whole thing. In their whole system, I was the only black participant. So I really felt it was a racist and it was biased. It was real
Yeah.
biased.
Absolutely.
So after that, and background on my son's father, he was a cocaine dealer.
Okay.
So and that's where I was getting my drugs. Then he stopped selling them to me. He kept telling me, you gonna have my son. That's what's gonna get you clean. And then it happened. So
Yeah.
but he was older. So he was like 52 when Cash was born, I think.
Mhm.
And he had custody of his grandkids and they were young. And so I'm thinking, I can send my son to him because he's a responsible dealer. That's what
Right.
I thought. I thought that he wouldn't have that crap around my son. And so fast forward after the case was dropped and everything's going good. Um 2023, April of 2020. Well, let's go to March. March of 2023, March 25th. Everything was good. I had just got my own house. Well, I did. I'm in a house now. Went from an
Yes.
apartment
Thank
to a
you, Lord.
house. I was
Yes.
paying off a car. I had been on my job for 2 years, which is the longest at the time. I've been on there now for 4.5 years, but at the time it was one of the longest jobs I'd ever had. So,
Yes.
I was being a
Congratulations.
functional, citizen. I was a functional member of society, and I'm thinking everything's going good, March 25th. And then the guy I was with, he proposed to me. So I'm like, Lord, this is everything I ever wished for and thought that I wasn't worthy of, because I was an addict. And like, not just the house and the car and the job and things like that, but I had lost my smile due to my drug use, poor dental hygiene. So
Okay.
I got my smile back due to COVID. They fixed my smile for free.
I was
And
about
so
to
I'm
say,
like,
yeah, you got a freeze now.
yeah,
Yes.
so
Okay.
I'm like, man, I'm getting blessed with all these things. Like I never thought I
Yes.
was worthy of, and now I'm engaged. Like this is more than I can handle. Thank you, God, because I am giving him all the glory. And
Yes.
so, because I'm at the best spot of my life. So come April, me and his dad, after I got the house, I moved from Indiana to Louisville because I didn't want to deal with them no more. And that was in August of 2022. So we got my son enrolled in daycare to where me and his dad, I would have a week with him, then his dad would have a week, then I have a week and his dad have a week. So
Yeah.
April 14th, no, April the 13th on a Thursday, uh, me and Cash was playing in the room and like this baby just he brought me so much joy. Like I love getting off of work and going to go pick him up. I love giving him in his baths. He
Yeah.
always woke up every morning and wanted two cookies. That was his first request. Good morning, mommy. Two cookies. So he wanted his he wanted his fudge stripe cookies, and I
Yeah.
gave them to him. We would it was points where before we would get them for the week, we'd look up on the fridge and see we ain't have no fudge stripe cookies and panic. We like, oh, we gotta go get some cookies. We gotta go get some cookies. So
And them
he
bad
loved.
boys is good. I ain't gonna lie. That's my favorite food. Them
Yeah,
fudge, them Elmer
yeah,
fudge cookies with that chocolate.
yeah.
I know what we
And
talking.
and this is how stuck I am after he died. This is
You
how
gotta
stuck
pack.
I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't. Crazy, but I haven't threw away his fudge stripe cookies.
We
He
didn't
only
either.
Aw.
We
he
didn't
only had
either.
two.
Yes.
He
My
had two
son
left.
wanted those white
Yeah.
Oreo
Oh.
cookies, and
Yeah,
we did the
and
same
that
thing.
was 2 years ago, but I can't part with them.
No, don't,
No, we
don't.
know. We understand for
Yeah,
sure.
we
Though. We
gonna understand.
understand
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
yeah. So, um, but like I was saying though, April April the 13th, when I had one more day to give him back to his dad on that Friday, and we had one of the most. I'll never forget the feeling. It was like he was getting closure with me, and the only reason I say that is because and we was playing this game. He would always put his cheeks on here. I
Mm-hmm.
forgot what he said. I don't know how I'm forgetting what he said, but he would go. He would say, "Go to sleep or go close your eyes." That's what he'll say. He'll say, close your eyes," and then he'll pop me on my cheeks like that real hard. And I and one day he did it so hard, I was like, "Well, close your eyes," and I popped him on the cheek. And he was like, "I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it hurts, don't it?"
Right.
So,
Exactly.
but yeah,
Yes.
so we was playing that game, and he was being real gentle with me. He was smiling, and I remember like just starting to happy cry. And I was like, "Thank you so much." I took him in my arms. I kissed on all his forehead and stuff. I'm like, "Thank you so much, Cash. You saved mommy's life." And he looked up at me like, "She gets it now." And that's what I felt. And I still feel that when I talk about it. So
That's what God told me before we sat down and interviewed, that He sent that baby specifically for you, specially. I know it's
yeah, yes, it was like he was it was like she gets it now. That's what I felt. And I tried to pinpoint like did that look mean something else? But every time I think about it, that's the look I feel like he gave me, like she gets it now. And he was like, "Can I go play, mommy?" And I let him go play. But yeah, 5 days later, I get a call that Wednesday morning at 1:58. I missed the call. And then at 2:03, uh, I call again and I answer it. And the night before was crazy too because I had took my husband to file his taxes because it was getting late. And April 15th is the last day. So the night before, I was in the HR block with my husband, or he was my fiance at the time. And I was waiting for him to get his stuff processed. And was going through pictures and I started deleting some, like some that was messed up and some that was took, off guard and stuff like that of Cash. And I'm like, if anything ever happens to this baby, this is what I thought. I'm like, if anything ever happens to this baby, I got plenty of pictures of him.
yeah.
And the next day that night I got that call and I picked it up. I knew when I seen Jeff, my baby daddy's name. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what is going on? Is he at the hospital? Did he get COVID again? Like, what's going on with the
Right.
baby? And he's screaming, Cash is gone. He said, he's gone, he's gone. I'm like, who's gone? And he's like, the baby, Cash, I think he's gone. He's not responding. They working on him. And I let out a scream that, oh God, It was one of those moments like and then I said to my no, I screamed it. I said, it's happening, it's happening. Because I felt like he wasn't gonna be here that long. And I used to get into it with my family and anybody that screamed at him or tried to treat him bad. I was on their neck, like, and I always told them, like, nah, you're not gonna do him like that. This baby's special. And I
Yeah.
always told people that because I felt it. It was call it mother's intuition or what, call it
Yeah.
God's grace or I don't
Yeah.
know, but I felt it. I knew his time on earth was limited. And that's why I treated him so different. Like I was a better parent to him than I was to my other two. I got down on my knees to talk to him if he did something wrong. I didn't hover over him and scream at him and
Yeah.
make him scared of me. When he did something wrong, I would correct it with kindness.
Yeah.
There was two times I screamed at him and he looked at me like I broke his heart.
Yeah.
And that look broke my heart. And I went to the first time it happened, I screamed at him and I was like, stop that shit or something,
Yeah.
something like that. He looked at me, he was like, and
Right.
ran to his room. He
Yes.
was so quiet. I'm like, why is he quiet? Was he not? He ain't playing or
Yeah.
nothing. He was sitting on his bed with tears coming down his eyes with his arms like that. And I said, oh my God, I hurt your feelings. I'm so sorry. Like, and I started crying because
Yeah.
he could feel that. He felt like mommy just screamed at me. She don't scream at me. And
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
felt that. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I hurt this baby's feelings. I shouldn't, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. So when I screamed at him again, I caught myself and he did the same thing. He sat on his bed and he had his arms folded and a little teardrop coming down his eye. And I told him I was sorry and I hugged him. And I feel like you're talking to me. Yeah.
You
So
helping people. Y'all gonna help people. There is so much power in y'all stories.
yeah.
I
So
know it feels like a lot, but there is people that are assigned to you that all of us that your story. Whew, I'll let you finish because I am a wreck right now. I'm a wreck.
I know it's hard. But so fast forward when I got that call. I didn't put no underwear on. I just threw my pants on. I'm like, something, I
Yeah.
never forget. I just pulled out whatever I pulled out, I put on and raced out the car. It was a warm night. It was a very beautiful night, really. But my car is an older car. It's a '08. So usually I let it idle. I put that key in there and I took off. Like
Yeah.
we
Right.
took off. His
Yes.
dad lived like 5 minutes away. I got there in 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So when we did pull around the corner, because first we went toward the hospital. I'm thinking he's at the hospital. I called him, where y'all at? Where y'all at? We still at home. We did a U-turn. All the streets was blocked out. Police was everywhere. And I'm pulling up the first set of police officers. I'm like, hey, that's my son. That's my son. I'm
Yeah.
driving. I'm like, it's my son, it's my baby, it's my baby. So he's like, go through, go through, go through. He's waving me through. So the second set of police officers on the actual street, they let me through. So the ambulance was sitting at the bottom of the driveway. I got out the car, barely put it in park. And if I'm not mistaken, I think my husband had to put it in park after me. I might have put it in reverse or neutral. I jumped out the car.
Yes.
So I raced up the driveway. His dad and his sons outside arguing and screaming at each other. I'm like, where's my baby? Where's my baby? He's like, he's in the ambulance. So I done passed them up to go into the house thinking they in there working on them. They're actually in the ambulance. So I run back down the driveway to the ambulance and I'm beating on the door. That's my baby. Open up. It's my baby. They drove off on me. So when we got in the car, but my husband was driving this time. He's like, calm down, baby, calm down. We don't know if he's gone yet. I'm like, he's gone. I can feel it. He's gone. So I called my sister, and my sister actually answered, which we that type of family. There's 7 of us. We're really close knit. So
Mm-hmm.
um, if one of us call it at that hour in the morning, we know something's wrong.
Right.
And by that time, it was like 2:20 or something like that. So I call her and I'm like, he's gone. She's like, hold on, sis, who's gone? I'm like, Cash. And everybody knew how special Cash was to me. Like I bought their sister back. If it
Yes.
wasn't for him, I'd be dead, either dead or in jail or. lost and nobody, or still sprung out, no telling what my story would have looked like if Cash didn't come into my life. And that's why I go so hard for him. He deserves that. He had a purpose, and I feel it. I felt that when he was born. I just didn't know where it had come from.
How
So
old was your baby? How old was your baby?
he was 3.
3.
Yeah, he was 3. So I get to my husband's driving and he's not driving fast enough for me because I'm running the red
Right?
lights and everything. And so he's driving and I'm like, go faster, baby. We got to get there. So we get there. I run to the exit door, to the hospital, to the children's hospital. There's like 30 police officers there. And they're like, are you the mom? I'm like, yes, that's my baby. It's my baby. Where is he? It was like, we're going to put you in this room. The chaplain's going to come talk to you. I'm like, the chaplain? They was like, they're still working on him, but the chaplain's going to come talk to you. And so chaplain comes in and he says we're doing everything we can to try to revive your baby. And as soon as we get him, as soon as we revive him, and he's stable, we're going to sit you next to him. And I dropped to my knees. I'm like, Lord, please don't take my baby away from me. I'm not ready. I'm not ready yet. And after I prayed that prayer, it's like a peace came over me. And I felt like God was like, it's done. And so 2 chaplains came in after I prayed. They said, we resolved, we, what did they say? Golly. I think they said like we, what did they say? Oh my gosh. Like we used all of our resources. I forget. I used to know word for word what they said. It's been so long. But I think they said we resolved all our, I think that's what they said. We resolved all our resources on reviving your baby. And would you like to be in the room with us when we start working on them? And I said, of course, it's my baby. I want to be there every step of the way. So when I walked in the room, I seen the nurse on top of him and she's pumping. She's like, come on, baby. Come on, baby. She's pumping on him. And the main doctor, he taps her and he's like, you can stop now. And so I seen them, like when they stopped working on them, I seen them look at the time. And I didn't know what they was looking at until I looked up with them. And I'm like, is this it? And, like, are y'all done? Like, what's going on? And they was like, yeah, he's unfortunately he's gone. Yeah, they was like, we're gonna give you some time with him, but we still gotta run some tests on him to see what caused this. And they didn't want me to touch him. They were to lift his body. They said I could touch him, but they didn't want me to lift his body because I guess they didn't know if he had broken a bone or, if anything was a fracture there, fractured there. So uh, his time of death was 2:38 a.m. April the 19th, 2023. And
April
like,
19th.
yeah,
My baby died April 18th. And Kalila, when your baby
My
passed away?
my son passed away April 14th, 2023.
oh my. So you
My,
was just going through yours, you was reliving yours, and mine's just happened.
my
Yes.
oldest son died April 9th, 2023.
Mm, 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 mm.
So I got one April 18th, one April 9th.
Oh,
Yeah.
April's just a horrible month for you.
Oh, it's a horrible month for me too.
Yeah.
Me too,
I hate
though,
the
because
horrible
my
month.
birthday was April 5th, and then
Oh yeah.
14 days later, my baby died. So I can't. And then my daughter, she had just turned 21 that year, and her birthday's April the 16th. And
Yeah.
he died 3 days later. So her birthday would never be the same neither. Like
Right.
she had just turned 21 and we had our first drink, me and her on our couch. It was a memorable year, but that
Yeah.
right there really, yeah, it scarred us. It scarred us. So but I kissed all of his body parts. I kissed his head, his toes, I kissed his belly. I kissed him, like you said, his eyes was open. And the funny thing about that is he slept with his eyes open. So me, it was normal seeing him with his eyes half open, but they were wider this time. And usually when he was alive, I would close them for him. So I went to close his eyes and they wouldn't close. and they went closed. And that's when I knew he had been dead for a while. So fast forward after we buried him on the 25th, I did his hair for the last time. And that was crazy too, doing his hair because from the autopsy, his hair wouldn't connect. And he always had a man bun. So I'm like, I'm trying to do his hair and I'm trying every method. I'm pulling, I'm yanking. I'm like, and I started crying. I'm like, Cash, you got to help mommy. Like, I need to do your hair. You can't go out with your hair all crazy. So after I said that, his hair connected. His hair connected. He knew because I used to do his hair and I would go, I'll say, go look. And there's a mirror on the back of my door in the bathroom. And he'll race there and come out smiling like he looked the best. Like he knew he just looked like he was handsome.
So handsome. I'm gonna show
So,
y'all his picture in just a little bit. I'm gonna show you.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
you don't have to forget him.
so after he had passed, I'm thinking like, how did he die? I'm wondering what happened to him because he was healthy, and I thought he died in his sleep. And it just so happened there was a baby that died from fentanyl on the 18th, and at the same hospital. They're all buried side by side. She's buried next to my son. She died from fentanyl. And then in June, I've got his autopsy. Well, I didn't even get his autopsy report. The CPS contacted me and they're like, we need to really talk to you about, what happened to your son. I'm like, he's dead. Why is CPS even getting involved? I'm gonna sue y'all. And I
Right,
left a message on a Sunday. I left this message and the man called because he's my baby's father called me. He said, man, CPS is contacting me and I don't know why. I said, well, give me their number because I'm about to cuss them out. Like, why are y'all trying to open up a case on a dead baby?
right.
So, yeah, because I already done dealt with him. So I'm fed up at this point. So I contacted him on Sunday and he's like, can I come see you? He called me right back after I left a message. He called me right back. He was like, and this is on a Sunday. CPS is calling me. He's like, I need to talk to you Monday. I said, you can't tell me on the phone. He said, no, I need to see you face to face. So he comes over my house and he's like, your son died from fentanyl intoxication. I'm like, what is fentanyl? And he's like, it's a synthetic drug that's been going around and blase, blase. Now, when he had died, the ex-wife of my baby daddy, she was telling me that the baby got a hold of a pill. The baby got a hold of a pill. And that, Jeff had these drug addicts around my son. And I'm like, there's no way. Ain't none of y'all kids dead and none of y'all grandkids dead, like he's a responsible person. There's no way that he could have let this happen. He loved that baby. And everybody's just like me. I Cash changed my life. It changed his daddy's life too. But not to the point where he stopped selling drugs. And so and that's why, I got sympathy for my baby's father. I really do, but I don't understand how your son died from fentanyl. Even though you don't sell fentanyl, it's still a drug. And you're still out there selling your drugs,
Yeah,
like that bothers me about. So but that's something that he had to work out.
yeah,
I'm not even trying to figure out his story no more and why God
yeah.
took his son. But I think he took our son because he knew that I wasn't going to be silent about it. So when I found out he had died from fentanyl, of course, I'm investigating everybody in the house, like who's in the house was around my baby that had this, fentanyl. And it come to find out there was a lady who was a roommate. She was renting out a room upstairs in the house that he was in with her two kids because she was homeless and she was a fentanyl user. So she had overdosed after my baby had died and was revived and from fentanyl. They had to Narcan her. She was in drug court for fentanyl. Her medical record shows she was a user of fentanyl. Nobody else in the house had that type of history with fentanyl but her. So process of elimination, I can guarantee it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out. Because like I said, she had two kids in the house and he was last seen upstairs in her room. The lady that or the girl that had cooked dinner for them that night had took him the chicken alfredo upstairs and he never came back down alive. So and when he was found in his dad's bed unresponsive, and his daddy always felt like that was unusual because he would come in and wake him up. Like if he was asleep, because his dad was asleep, and then he woke up and found him dead in the bed with him, unresponsive. So they think, and his shoes was off, and his head was under a pillow, or his head was over top of a pillow, and that's not how Cash sleep. Cash don't sleep on pillows and he wouldn't have took his own
Yeah.
shoes off. He didn't do that. So his dad always said that he would climb on him, which I can attest to. I was around several times when I was putting him. He had called me over to give him a bath, and I would try to put him to bed with him, and he'd climb on his dad and stuff like that. So he said that it was unusual that he didn't feel him getting into bed with him. So that's why we think that the lady put him in the bed when she found him unresponsive and waited for his dad to find him. So yeah, that and I feel in my heart that's how it happened because nobody heard him coming downstairs.
Mothers
Nobody,
know. Mothers
yeah,
know. You can tell them anything. Mothers know what happens to their
yeah,
children. It's
yeah.
hard to explain, but you
I
know,
know, I
you know,
know,
they shake
and
what you know. Yeah.
yeah. So, but that's why I'm trying to get a bill because there's no going to be no justice in his case, even though his case is still open. Nobody's being held responsible. Every time I talk to the DA or the prosecutors or anybody on the case, they're saying it's a hard case to prosecute.
It's
So,
not. It's really not. I don't know what is wrong with these people. Y'all hear me?
yeah,
How could 300,000 of our children be unalive like this? I'm gonna tell Kavanre's story, but my oldest son died the same way. The torment of seeing how other people OD'd from this,
yeah.
and they last moments where it's just over. It's just
You said your son's name is Kavare.
Kavanre. Mm-hmm.
My son's
That's the
name is
one.
Kavari.
Really?
Yes.
See, now come on here.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, you are. Yeah.
Well,
But
hi, Kavari. Yes, his name was
yeah, the
Kavanre. That
good
is
thing about the good thing about all of this though, because God hasn't failed me yet since this has happened. Not only being able to go on the Steve Wilkos show and get his story out there and get some type of because it was a burden carrying that his dad was a drug dealer. So I had to carry that burden until I went on the Steve Wilkos show. And after I went on the Steve Wilkos show and it came out on his end that that's what happened and was likely the cause of him even being in that surroundings, it gave me a big relief.
yeah,
I didn't have to carry that burden no more. I used to have headaches. I used to faint because I'm wondering, everybody's trying to follow my story. And at this time, I think I only had 14,000 followers. Now I have 25,000. But
yeah,
at the time, I was just like, how do I tell these people that I had a baby by a drug dealer? So
yeah.
with the Steve Wilkos show, that sort of freed me up from that. And then the day that he died, April 19th, his adoptive mom, she brought my son back into my life, and he's been back ever since. She was having some
Yeah,
problems with him at the beginning of the year, from last year to the beginning of this year, and I've been having him ever since January. So he's
praise the
back in my life. Yeah. So
Lord. He's such a
she told me because she worked for the system too, and she told me when she seen me fighting for him and was wondering why they wouldn't give him back to me, she was like, "This mom was really trying to get her son back." She said, "I'm gonna
right.
adopt him and I'm gonna put him back in his mama's life." And it just so happened my son died, and that's how he got put back. So I lost one son and I gained one back.
That's right.
It had been 2 years since I had seen my son too. So on his 13th birthday, before his 13th birthday, he got put back into my life. So
God
there's a lot
sent
of
you
positive.
exactly what you needed. Yes,
Yeah,
He
I
sent
did.
you exactly
I
what you needed.
did. Cause
Yeah,
see, when they took my son and put him up for adoption after my aunt gave him back for 2 years, I didn't know where he was. So that was affecting me a lot. I was crying out of nowhere because I love my babies, but
yeah,
I just didn't know where he was. I was um, real defensive and stuff. Like I just didn't
yeah,
know. I felt defeated. I'm like, I don't
yeah.
want my kid to be put up for adoption, and I don't know where he is and stuff. So when she did that, that's why I tell her all the time she was heaven sent because he could have been put in any other adoptive home, but he got put in one that the lady had seen it in her heart to put him back with me.
Yes.
So that was a
That's
blessing. That's
such
why
a
I say like my story is playing out the way it's supposed to, and I'm taking it all, as it is. I'm not trying to change it. I'm just going with the flow of it. I didn't know that that was what was going to happen, but that's why I advocate because before my son died from fentanyl, I didn't know about fentanyl. I
me
didn't
neither.
know it existed. All I heard was lace pill, this lace that, lace pill, lace that. And nobody was saying what it was laced with. So
I didn't
when
even know what when my daughter, because my daughter called me and she was like, they said he OD'd. I'm like, what is that? I
yeah,
don't even know what an OD is. Like, what is an OD? She's like an overdose. I was just like, so naive. I don't know. I didn't know nothing about no fentanyl. I didn't even know nothing about no lace pill. It was such a shocker to me.
Me too.
But now I'm well educated about
Me
it.
too.
Well
Me
educated
too.
about it.
Yes. Like
Yeah.
like there's four different types of fentanyl out here. There's one that's irreversible, the car fentanyl. Like that's
Oh,
irreversible.
fentanyl. Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And Narcan won't work on it. It's too strong. It's too potent. So yeah, I'm learning. I've been went in front of legislators. Like now, me and this councilman, we have been emailing back and forth, and we talked on the phone about the bill, the Cash App. And this lady, she got with me. She seen one of my posters that went viral, and she was like, "I seen that you want to make a bill, and I'm a lawyer, and I've helped people pass bills. So can I help you pass your bill for your
Oh,
son?"
that's
I was like,
great.
"Yeah."
That's
And
great.
I talked to her on a Friday. She said she was gonna get back with me on Tuesday. She said I couldn't wait. And that Friday night, she sent me the bill, and it's called the Cash Act,
Yeah.
Children Against Substance Harm, and that's the acronym for it. And
Children
it's
against substance. What's the last one?
Children Against Substance Harm
Oh,
for
substance.
cash.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
great.
Hmm.
That's
Send that to
great.
Yeah,
me.
because
Y'all hear that? She said
Yes.
your baby is battling right
Yes.
now. They used Narcan on him twice. Really?
what
I
she
got
say?
another sister over here on TikTok because I'm streaming live on TikTok.
Okay.
She's telling me that her baby is battling fentanyl right now.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, it's hard to come off of a and the thing about it is they do like things people that are addicted to fentanyl. It's it's fentanyl and it's like it's not as potent as pure fentanyl, if that makes sense. Like you can't take pure fentanyl. It's gonna kill
Right,
you. It's
right.
gonna kill you, you know. And I hate that harm reduction's putting. I love harm reduction, but I don't like that they're putting that because the logic behind it, from what I've learned, is point two of fentanyl is going to
Yes,
kill you.
it's
Point
going
10
to.
is going to kill
Yeah,
10 million or
yeah,
10,000 people.
yeah,
So if somebody's taking pure fentanyl as their drug of choice, they should be dead. There's no way to like balance perfect
there's
now, you
no way.
know?
There's
And
no way
and
at
and
all.
harm reduction is putting it out there that you can take perfect now and not die. And I don't like cause yeah, because my husband asked them. When we did my diaper bag giveaways, it's my second year doing diaper bag giveaways. Last year we gave out 35 diaper bags with Narcan and you know, clothes, bottles, onesies, pacifiers, all the little
Yeah,
things you needed. But I made sure every diaper bag had because I hooked up with harm reduction and
okay.
that every bag had Narcan and fentanyl test strips in it. And when my husband was asking them this year about it, when we was at the little meet and greet about it, he was like, "Can people take fentanyl?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No. Why are
Right.
you saying that? Why?" I didn't argue with her because that's what they believe. But if you do your research, you can't take fentanyl. You
No,
just
you
can't.
cannot. No,
You
you
can't.
cannot.
It's mixed with something. It's
You cannot.
diluted, you
Yeah,
know. So I don't like that theory that people say that they're hooked to fentanyl, and it's like no, you're hooked to heroin with fentanyl, or you're hooked with to meth with fentanyl, or
yeah.
cocaine with
Or
fentanyl. There's
cocaine, fentanyl.
yeah, it's
Right,
not.
you're right.
You can't take something that's designed to kill you immediately. The whole purpose of fentanyl is to tell your brain to stop breathing. So like you can't take that curve and still live to tell it.
You
So
can't.
it's hard hearing people say they're addicted to fentanyl because no, you're addicted to something with fentanyl. It's not pure.
Right.
It's
And
not
I
pure.
know people who literally want that.
Yeah, they want something with fentanyl in it. It's
Right.
not,
They asking for the fentanyl. I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah. I seen a girl at the nail shop when I was telling her about my story. She was recovering from fentanyl use, and but she said it was heroin that had the fentanyl in it. So I'm like, okay, you're
yeah,
yeah. So, but that's my goal, and is to get that cash act, and it might take a while to get it passed, but even so, since I've been communicating with the council person, I still feel empty. I
yeah,
still feel a void. It's like even the hard work that I've went on plenty of platforms. I've been on the TV, been on the news, been in front of legislators, been to the Capitol, like been to Washington marching with the people, and it still is a big void that I just it ain't
It
it's
will
empty.
never be filled. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I feel the same, and sometimes
yeah,
it's so big, it's so deep, it's so undescribable that you cannot. I don't think this void will ever be filled. And
yeah.
what started happening to me, because when the first one that I was telling y'all about from the Adderall, it wasn't Adderall. It was the new name for Ritalin. I forgot what it's called. I used to know it like clockwork, but
Mm,
um, what used to happen to me is whenever I tried to tell other people about it, then the enemy would attack me and like you couldn't even help your own child. You know what I'm saying? With you out here doing trying to talk to other people about it, you couldn't help your own child for a long time.
mhm.
You know, even still with my oldest son, it's just a void that is, I don't know, it's unexplainable. And no matter how much you speak, how much movement you make, sometimes you just still feel so unheard and so,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It's a
That would be
daily
correct.
challenge.
yeah.
Yeah. Some
That would
days
be
are
And
correct.
easy.
then when you got people who don't understand your grief and think you should be all the way over here, or they
Right.
say something triggering to you, not having a
Yeah,
clue, and they get on,
yeah.
well, stop crying about it. He's with the Lord. He not with
Right.
me.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Thank God
Right,
he's with the Lord. He not with me.
right.
Right.
That part,
Problem.
that
Yeah,
part.
Yep.
like
And I
Very
only got
annoying.
3 years, so it really
right.
eats
That
me
is
up.
so heartbreaking. That
Yeah.
is so heartbreaking. I really
And
commend you.
that's
I
why I'm
really
so
do.
transparent about my story though, because like I want these women to know, you have a baby with a drug dealer, these are the risks that you're taking. I
Yeah.
didn't think and the messed up part about it is he said that was her first night living there and he died on the first watch. So
He didn't do that
that
on purpose. I know he did not. I know that
yeah,
man.
he definitely didn't do it. He took it hard. He took it
I
very hard.
pray for
But
him because the
me
guilt that
too.
comes behind that. Oh my gosh!
Me
Like,
too. Me too. And I pray for the girl. I
yeah,
forgive her. I publicly have forgiven her. Will I forget? No. Do she need to be held accountable? Absolutely. It may not be on my time. But
yeah.
the messed up thing about it is her son died from fentanyl last year. He was 22. And
Wow.
then, so she knows my pain. So
Yeah,
for her to not come clean to me yet and just come mother to mother and be like, "Yeah, I messed up. I messed up. I seen him unresponsive and I didn't act. I didn't know what to do." That's why
yeah,
I be trying to educate people on the signs of overdose and things like that, especially in children. But I'm his voice, he
yeah,
didn't deserve that, but he came on a mission. He wasn't
yeah.
here just to save me from addiction. He was here to save several people from
A
my
lot of
baby's done
people.
touched a
Yeah,
lot of people. He's done
he's
touched
going
a lot
to.
of
His
people's.
name will live on way after you've gone on. His name
Yeah,
will be a name that
that's what I
nobody
want,
will
and
ever
that's
forget.
what I
And then
want.
you
That's what I'm.
named him that particular name, Cash. Who can forget that?
But see, the thing is, his name is Cassius. I named him after Muhammad Ali.
Oh,
And I thought
really?
that was, yeah, I named him after Muhammad Ali, but I nicknamed him Cash because it's Cassius. So,
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's catchy. And I love the name Cash, but I
yeah.
wasn't going to name him Cash. I named him Cassius. And just
Ashes.
to see, yeah. And when that lady gave me that acronym for his name, the Children Against Substance Harm, I
Right?
bawled for like a day straight because me and my
Yeah.
dad, we were trying to figure out how can we incorporate his name and what could it mean. And
Hashtag.
This
Love that.
lady from Georgia, she
Yeah.
came up with it, and she's a lawyer, so she's in that field, but she came up with that, and I cried for like a day straight just saying it. I'm talking to my daddy. I'm like, Daddy, you'll never believe what just happened. I'm in tears.
Only God could
I'm bawling.
orchestrate it all
He
together like
definitely he
that. Yeah.
definitely sent so many angels, so many earth angels to walk through this with me. And that's why some days are easier than others. I be believing that on the days where I don't feel so much sorrow, it's because people are really uplifting me in prayers.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
there's other days where a simple thought, a simple
Yeah.
smell, a simple anything triggers me, and I just get so sad and depressed. It
Yeah.
comes out of nowhere. You can't. There's like
Out of
no rule
nowhere,
book
you
to
can't
grief.
even control
Yeah,
it.
there's
You can't
there's no
control
rule book
it.
to it.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can't.
I have to
you can't.
surrender to it when it happens to me. I just have
Yeah,
to, because if I try to fight it now, minds will sneak up like that too, and it comes out of nowhere. It could come with me if I see other children playing basketball. If
yep,
I see, I'll be asking why they got
yep,
their kids. I see evil kids. I'll be like,
yeah.
God, these kids is evil. Like, why
That's so
minds? You know, it's
that's
yeah,
That's me. The first year was the hardest. Like kids were triggers. Like I love them. I
yeah,
love my babies. I love them. I am their biggest advocate. But seeing them, it just stung.
yeah.
It stung. And now I'm learning how to sort of control it, but it's still there. Like my niece
It
was
makes
born
you
2 months.
jealous. Yeah, I had
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
accept that. I
And
was like, I've
and
never
it's
been a jealous person, but it makes you jealous.
and I thought that it was jealousy, but it was more like I yearn it for me. I want
Yeah,
it for me. I want that. I want to see my son go to kindergarten. I want to see my son tie his
Right.
shoes.
yeah,
Like my great niece, she was born August the 10th. He was born October the 9th. So they was literally 2 months apart. So every milestone that she reaches now, I be thinking about my son.
yeah,
Yep.
And they still, it's funny too, because they was both 3, when he died and stuff, but she still remembers him. She still talks about him. She
yeah.
still says she sees him.
Wow,
She,
yes,
yeah, she's that's my baby. And anytime
yeah.
her and her brothers, because they 2 years apart, her and her brother, but anytime they see me, it's always hugs. They just immediately hug me and they have to come see me. It's like they
They
know that I'm
know
hurting.
children
They
are
know.
really sensitive to
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
And
for
then,
sure.
another thing with him being so small, it's like babies gravitate toward me. And in a
Yeah,
sense, I feel like that's him coming to give me just a hug, just for this second, just for
through
that's
them.
what
Yeah,
I
that's
feel. And I'm
right.
gonna hold on to that thought.
Yeah,
Like I do. I just feel like when
right.
they gravitate toward me out of nowhere,
Yeah,
strangers' babies and or
yeah,
kids I ain't seen since they were 2 months old, they
yep,
come and run up to me like they know me. And I
yeah.
take that as my baby trying to give me just a earthly hug through the realm, and I
Yep.
take it, and I take it. I do. I look at it like that, and I don't want nobody else to tell me no different. That's what
No,
I feel.
ain't nobody
That's what
telling
I
you
feel.
different. No, that's it.
Yeah,
That's all. I want to say
yeah,
this one thing that we're gonna bring Kalila up. I
yeah.
know she has a powerful story
Uh
that
oh. Uh-oh.
this is probably gonna be the first time. This is the first time you going live sharing it, sis.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I think this is the first time she's going live. I grew up with her. We went to middle school together, and
oh,
we
cool.
connected on social media. And both of us was burying our babies around the same time. We're supposed to be on the same day, but I wanted to say,
Mhm.
1 year. Well, it I dealt with infertility when I got with my husband. After I had my first set of children, I couldn't have kids for 10 years, and I cried and cried and cried like, God, what the heck? I didn't have baby by rapists, like I kept them, and now I'm in covenant, and so I say it was 2 years before Kev Ryan, the one I spoke about, whose birthday is today. 2 years
Happy
before
birthday to him.
passed,
Yes.
he sent me Redeem. He sent me, the boy who reminds me so much of this kid, because Kid Brian, we called him Noodles because he was born premature and he was so small. So that was his nickname, Noodles.
Yeah,
When he passed away, I asked God, who is gonna tell me they love me every day? He couldn't go nowhere without telling me I love you. He'd be at school like, hey mom, what you doing? Boy, you supposed to be in school, you gonna get in trouble.
Yep.
He couldn't go a day. If I was at the bathroom, what you doing, mom? I'm like, oh my God, he was on my heels. And like you said,
Yes.
we loved them different because they were not that my other children. I love all my children. I'll be
yeah,
the big tree stump about my kids, but me and this baby died together. So there was, if he was my saving grace, this is who God used to save my life. So it
yeah,
was different. He's my best friend. And every
yeah,
day he made sure I knew. And so when he died, I said, who gonna tell me that? Now my other girls and guys, they grown. Hey
yeah,
mama, how you doing? Love you every now and again. This boy, 10 times a day, hands down, is gonna tell me and make me know that I am the most important woman in his life, probably on planet Earth. So when he died, I'm like, who gonna tell me that?
Right.
he was your earth angel.
And the little one that he sent 2 years before he died, every day that boy tells me, I love you. He will fight his daddy about his mama. He the same way. I'll be like, he's the same way. So it was like, and not only that, the next year, exactly to the date that my baby died, April 18, 2018, on April 18, 2019, I found out I was pregnant with twins,
Oh.
two
Oh,
girls. And this was the phenomena about it all. When I found out I was pregnant, there was a great joy because I struggled with infertility.
yeah.
So on the worst day of my life, God gave me a miracle. On the
Yes.
same,
Yeah.
Yes.
and whenever I would get sad and start thinking about Kev Ryan, they'd be up in there just like they was having a heart.
Like, mommy,
Like
we
for
here.
real, for real. Right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, you got to keep it together. And still to this
Yes.
day, if
Yes.
they know I'm sad, they can sense it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they'll come and give me hugs. They'll be really super clingy. You know,
Yeah.
they know. So I wanted to share that with you that they know. And I want to ask you this last question. If you could say something to Cash right now, what would that be?
Thank. uh, Thank you so much for saving mommy's life.
Yep.
Because I called him my saving grace too. So
Yes.
thank you so much for saving mommy's life. And I'm not going to disappoint you.
Yeah. Thank you, baby Cash. We love you, baby. We didn't meet
Yes.
you, but we love you and we thank you. It is such a miracle and a blessing and an act of God's love towards you to
Yeah.
send your best friend in the human form to love on you the way that he did. And I'm sure other people have told you this, but I don't have to know you in the flesh to know you in the spirit. I'm so very proud of you. I'm
Yes.
proud of your life. I hate
Thank
that we had to meet this way, but you got some sisters on the right and the left that will stand with you, that absolutely understands
Yes.
you're going through. We will walk with you, march with you. I thank God for sending baby Cash to you, changing
you.
your life, and perfecting everything about you.
Yeah.
Cash be a legend in this earth. You hear me? He will be a
Yes.
legend in this
A-
earth. And
and I got one more thing before we pass it on. But
Mhm.
when he
Yes.
was born, at 3 months old, I wrote a poem. And I ended up using that same poem in the dictionary or in his obituary. And I remembered it. It was on my first Facebook page, and somebody hacked it.
Mm.
So when it came, so I had to make another page. But when it came time to bury him and do his obituary, I remembered the poem off the top of my head. And basically, in the poem, matter of fact,
Mhm. Yeah.
hold okay, I'm back. Let me
Mhm.
see. I want to read y'all this poem because it was so strong. Like I remembered it off the back of my head. It was crazy. Hold on, let me read.
Okay.
I mean, because it was crazy because I remembered it off the back of my head, and I didn't know I didn't know how he had died at that time. But reading this poem gives me chills. So
Yes.
I'm in the car. I keep his obituary in the car.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So it says to my special son, as my father molded my face and perfected my smile, I smiled. You know, he had that big, beautiful smile.
Yes.
So he crafted my shape, he figured my eyes, I smiled. As he was putting the finishing touch on me, he added a splash of joy and excitement. I smiled. Before he sent me out to earth, he asked, which mother do you prefer? I have a woman who is stable, married with no kids. She really enjoy you. Then there's this other lady, she's struggling to have kids, so you will be the miracle in her eyes. But son, I do have this third lady. Her life is crumbling. She's an addict and has given up in life. I do believe you can change her, but I will leave it up to you. Without hesitation, I declared lady number three. My father said, "It shall be done." Before he sent me down from heaven, my father suddenly asked, "Son, why choice number three?" I replied, "Because she needs me the most." And then I smiled.
Aw.
That
Yeah,
That
is
was that
really
was
beautiful
beautiful.
and very fitting.
Yes.
You
yeah, I
have
thought
smiled
so
through
too.
your pain. You have a beautiful smile. You're still smiling. Cash
Yes.
is
I have
smiling
no
through you.
choice.
Yeah.
Yes.
God's been good to me, even in the death of my son. He's been good to me. So
Yes.
I just gotta continue to trust him and be faithful.
Yes. He got
Yeah.
you. This there will be glory after this. That's what I do know. I do know. I don't know what God has. All it says eyes have not seen, ears have not heard. But
Yeah.
what I do know for both of you, my sisters, is this pain is purposeful. And it had to be this amount of pain in order to carry you through whatever God has for you. It
Yeah.
had to be like this. But this
And it-
pain is purposeful and it was not meant to just hurt you. It was meant to propel you and to push you into greater destiny heights. I don't know because we don't know as human beings. It says what God has planned for you, eyes have not seen, ears have not heard, but I know it's great and it's
yeah.
faith. And God is carrying you every single day. He's going to carry you to that destination for sure. 100%. And
Yes.
you've encouraged my spirit. Today I was just like, you really encouraged my spirit. You really have. I commend you 100%. Like I said, if there's anything you need, anything, I don't care what it is, please share the cash at. I will share it everywhere. Whatever you need shared for the baby, I will share it. If it's you, if you need to check in, just listen. If you need to cuss, if you need to vent, because we need that.
Yes, for
Yeah.
sure.
We need
Yeah.
that. And there's a lot of people, it triggers me and irritates me when my family call and be like, oh, what's wrong with you? I'll be like, as if you don't know, I be burnt up. I be pissed off. Like,
Me too.
hello,
Me too.
I'm going through something. Okay.
Yes.
This is
Yeah.
Yes.
painful. Every day is not going to be. I had to learn how to live, and we all did. We had to learn how to live life.
Yes.
Flesh of your flesh, bone of your bone. When it comes from you, when you put your baby in the ground, something died with you.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
So now you
Yes,
got to learn how
absolutely.
to live life after death. You was used to
Yes.
living life one way, and now you have this new life that you don't even know how to live, and people around you don't even know how to help you live it. So I mean that 100%. If
Yeah.
y'all need something, because I know if we need to go on a vacation, you hear me, to the beach,
Yeah.
I don't care. We will do it for sure. A sister in Christ is a sister for life, straight up.
Yes.
Yeah. I definitely feel that way. I had to find my people, and only other
Yeah,
grieving parents are my people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's not the
I'm like,
same.
God, why you give me these ugly shoes? This hurt over here. But
Right.
I've
Yes.
met so many beautiful women and men that, and it makes you very much more compassionate. Because I
Yes.
were used to seeing other people lose their children, and I'd be like, oh, that's sad. I pray
You
for them.
feel it
Now,
all over. You
yeah,
feel it all over again when you hear somebody
every
losing day.
time.
Every time I see
People be
somebody
like,
lose
why
a
you
child,
crying? What? This
yep,
is painful. I feel what they feeling.
I
Yeah, I know what
relive it. I
they're going through.
relive it. It's been 2 years, but I relive it just like that too.
Yes.
Every time I hear somebody lose a child, I'm like, oh, this is about to be hard for her.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And
so
people be like, time heal all wounds.
no.
Not at
For this
all. Not
baby,
at all.
he's been gone
Not at
6
all.
years. It's worse than when it first
Yes,
happened. The
Yes.
that's
longer
how I
Yes.
the
feel.
years go, the
Yes.
more you realize I ain't got another photo, another
Yes.
memory,
Yep,
Yep.
me
angry.
too.
Yeah,
Yep.
for
I
sure.
don't even post all my photos no more. I save them.
Me
I feel I'm like,
neither. I'm tired of posting them. I'm like, I don't even got no new pictures. I'll be
yeah,
pissed off. They be like, you
yes, me
celebrating
too.
something? No, there's nothing to
I'm like,
celebrate.
have
It's
they
not a
seen this one yet?
celebration. Yeah. I'll be like, let me hold it off for like 5 years so that
yeah,
they'll get familiar with the
No,
same
look, sis.
photo.
You know, no,
right.
you know, look, you know, I post the same ones all the time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I don't care. I'm looking like I
I'll be
miss my
telling
baby. I'm
my
posting.
daughters about my
yeah.
sister because I love her strength. I'll be telling my daughters about Kalila, and we about to hear her story.
Yes,
It's
I want to hear it. I'm excited.
around.
I'm
I
not
tell my
excited,
kids
but I'm
about you all
anticipating.
the
Yeah, I
time.
understand. Yes.
I tell my
Um.
kids about you all the time.
Yes.
Sis is
Thank you.
dedicated. You feel me? Like
I'm gonna mute
there's
myself.
some things that I can't do. I can't go to
Yes.
the cemetery at night, but sis be out there with her baby represented. I'll be
It
like,
be
oh,
it could
okay,
be midnight. It could be
yeah,
midnight. Once I get off
yeah.
work, if it's midnight, I'm going. If I because
I
I just feel
see that.
I cannot just drive past the cemetery and then not stop. I don't I feel like I'm leaving my baby if I just drive
Right,
past the
How
cemetery and
long
not
has it?
stop.
How long has it been? Because I do the same thing. I work past my son's cemetery, so I go and see him to and from.
Oh,
And
me too.
I feel
That's
horrible if
me
I
all
miss
day.
him.
Oh, me
all of
Okay.
too.
our babies
Me too.
died in 2023 of April.
Yes.
All
Wow.
of
Yes.
them. 2 years.
Yes.
I'm gonna let
Yes.
you tell your story. I gotta use the ladies' room, okay? I'm gonna come off the screen for a minute, but everybody over here is clapping it up for you, Sister
Okay.
Ashley on TikTok. They now waiting for you. I'll flip the camera back around, let y'all ladies, but I gotta go use the ladies' room. I'm still here. They
Okay.
still in the chat supporting you guys and all that. I'll be right back, okay? I'm gonna
Okay.
remove myself and feel free to do whatever. This is a no judgment zone. Yeah, have listen. I love God, but I'm not religious. I'm very relational. And whatever you have to do to get through what you have, this is a no judgment. God, no,
So,
I'm one of them warriors that will go off on somebody about messing with people that I love. He know I go off on this social media. Don't come for
yeah,
my people. Yeah, so no, you do whatever. Let me see if
Okay.
I'm
So
here with you.
basically, okay. So basically, my son worked for the city of Las Vegas courtyard. And back then, at that time, he had to get vaccinated to work there. So he was already currently working there. So he got vaccinated. So I'm gonna say maybe about, he got did that maybe in about August of 2022. And then about November of 2022, he started saying that he was having shortness of breath, but he also has asthma. So I took him to the emergency room thinking it was his asthma, and then the result came back at that time supposedly his asthma. So we went with that. So then he started throwing up and stuff like that. So then and that happened within maybe he was throwing up for about a couple of days. So I'm always asking him like, Akai, are you okay? Do you want to go to the emergency room? And he's like, Mom, I'm fine. I'm gonna just go get in the shower, and then he said the steam helps him a little bit. So we like okay. So then maybe a couple more days passed by, he was still throwing up. So then I took him to the emergency room, and this time they tried to say that he smoked too much weed. So I forgot the word they put there, but they said that he was smoking too much weed. So he calmed down on the weed a little bit too. So then okay, he's still throwing up, still saying he having shortness of breath. So we took him to a different hospital. Oh wait, let me backtrack. So he got in the shower one time, and then he seen that his feet and his legs was swollen, like really big. So so I took him to a different hospital because I felt like the hospital that I was taken to wasn't pretty much really doing anything. They wasn't running no tests or anything like that. So at this other hospital, they diagnosed him with having congestive heart failure. So
How
nobody had
old
my.
was he?
He was 20. My son was 20 at this time. So and that's what caused his legs and feet to be swollen. His stomach starting to swell. So he had like a lot of fluid backed up in his stomach because it wasn't draining to where it needed to
Mhm.
go. So okay, so they told him back in December that he had December 22 that he had congestive heart failure. So I took him to the Sunrise Hospital, which he was there for 2 weeks. And when I say they did absolutely nothing for my son in this particular hospital, they did nothing besides kept giving him morphine. Um, so then I'm in there, and my son, his arm started swelling up while he was in the hospital. So I'm asking the nurses, can they check his arm? They was like, oh, that's just the IV being in there, and so on and so forth. So I was like, well, can you run a test? And then they'll say yes. So then I leave and go to work, and then my son never cried. He would never cry about nothing. He's not a crybaby. He's 20 years old. So when he
Yeah,
called me and told me that he was in pain from while I was at work, and that he's ringing his bell and nobody's coming. So I leave work and go up there. So then I'm causing hell at this time because my son
yeah,
is in there and he's in pain, and you guys are not doing absolutely nothing for him.
yeah.
So So he was in there literally 2 weeks, and then they keep giving us this story that he's okay. They're gonna discharge him. So then they discharge him, and then he go right back to the hospital because he's still having shortness of breath and he can't breathe and stuff like this.
That's crazy.
No, and so then he's still in the hospital, and then his grandmother, that's a registered nurse. She was, I don't know anything that he's supposed to be in, like the procedure that he's supposed to be in there for. She was like, if he's in here for congestive heart failure, like why don't you guys have him on a heart monitor or anything like that? Why aren't you guys draining his stomach? Why there's no what is it, gastrologist or whatever that word is for your
Yeah.
stomach?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they like, why aren't you guys draining the fluid from his stomach? Cause that's how they did, because she knew all the stuff that they supposed to be doing. I don't know all that type of stuff they supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So then they finally decided to drain a little bit from his stomach, is what they said. They only got a little bit, but it was still really big.
Wow.
They connected him to the heart monitor, like she said, but I was already dissatisfied at this time, so I self discharged him and took him to a hospital in the, excuse my word, but in a
Yep.
more high class area, should I
Yeah.
say?
Yeah.
So, and I love that hospital. At that hospital, they got his swelling down in his legs and feet and arm. They found the blood clot in his, where I was asking them to do his X-ray in his arm that's swollen up. They found the
Wow.
blood clot there. They drained a lot of fluid from his stomach that the other hospital was saying that they couldn't do, or that it wasn't enough in there. And then they also told me my son needed a heart transplant because he had congestive heart failure on both sides of his heart.
Wow.
And then they was telling me that the hospital I took him to the first time was supposed to at least offer the stem to put in his heart so that the blood
Mm-hmm.
flow could go through. So they were saying that
Mm-hmm.
they could have did that at the other hospital. So the cardiologist from the hospital that I actually took him to, sorry, hold on.
We got you right here.
Right. Take your time.
Yes, ma'am. I gotta get my tissue.
Girl. Here come the waterworks again. I'm just saying. I'm
Yes, I
trying.
gotta get
Okay,
my
okay,
tissue.
okay.
Is this your first time telling the story?
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard.
Okay.
Whew.
And I'm sitting in my car, I ain't even got no tissue, but okay, hold on.
You just leave.
Okay, okay. So, my son was still being like so positive at the time when they told him that he needed the heart transplant, right? Okay, sorry. Okay. So he was being like so positive, and I'm sitting there crying because I'm like, okay, sorry.
Don't apologize.
Please don't
Don't
say
apologize.
sorry. No, don't
Yeah,
say
don't
sorry. It's okay.
apologize.
You
Please.
don't gotta apologize or rush. If
Mm-mm.
anybody's in a rush, they can exit to the left, but we here for you
Okay,
straight up.
Mm-hmm.
okay. What's crazy is I told myself I wasn't gonna cry. That was the funny part. I was like,
Fight yourself out.
okay, okay. So I'm in there crying because I know the extent of him needing a heart transplant. So he like, Mom, don't cry. I'm like, son, you don't really understand. Um,
Yes, Lord, help us. Yes. And this is what we deal with every day. This is real raw and this is uncut. This is
It
real
is.
at
It
its
is.
finest.
You got this, Mom.
Father. Mm.
okay. Okay.
Just breathe through it, sis. Yeah, let it go. It's been pent up. Just breathe through it.
Man, when
Breathe.
one mother cries, we all cry. That's
Right.
literally.
Okay.
That's
Just
literally.
breathe through it.
Okay. Okay.
Jesus.
Okay. So he like, Mom, don't cry. And then I'm like, son, I understand what you're saying, but you don't know the when somebody say you need like a heart transplant, like right now.
Yeah.
So of course, the hospital wanted to airlift him to California to have the heart transplant because they
Okay.
put him at the top. They put him at the top of the list because he was only 20 years old.
Yeah.
So Medicaid like denied his airlift to California. So I'm like, okay, I would drive him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they like, well, Medicaid still didn't approve of him getting accepted at San Diego, in San Diego at the hospital. So it put him back. So he stayed in the hospital for about a week because the hospital wasn't gonna let him go without him having a solution, basically.
Yeah.
So what they finally determined was that they was gonna give him a life vest.
Mm-hmm.
So Medicaid approved for the life vest. Um, so this
Can
was
I
probably
ask what's a life vest?
it's a vest that will once his heart rate goes down, it'll shock it back into place.
Okay. Okay.
So he had that, and this was back in February. So he was dealing with the hospitals in and out since basically November of 2022, and in February of 2023 is when they approved him to have the life vest.
Mm.
Um, so he was doing fine for about. Oh, they also didn't approve. Medicaid also didn't approve of the medication that he needed for the heart failure, like the stuff that really was like life saving.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't approve of it.
Good
Um,
grief.
so okay, so he had the life vest from February to April, obviously. Um, and then what I am grateful. Oh, let me. Okay, so April comes, um, April 12th. Um, we had a really good dinner and we was having fun like we always do, laugh, joke. Because he was still the same person. He had high spirits and stuff like
Yeah.
that. He didn't let it change him or anything. He was still being positive, and he was still, Mom, you want me to go get you your coffee? You want me to make you some coffee? And so forth. No, let me skip. My baby has a son, so at
Mm-hmm.
this time his son was like 5 months old or whatever. Um, he was still trying to play with him and stuff like that. But he really couldn't lift more than 5 pounds, is what they told him, not to lift more than 5 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
But again, so he was still remaining positive. So, but this particular night, we had a really good night. And I'm glad we did. Like that morning, I always do a mommy and son breakfast or whatever. So we go out to
Yeah.
go eat breakfast. So we did
Yeah.
breakfast at that time. And then later on that day, Akai made some banana pudding and we had dinner and stuff like that. Um, so then he said he came in there again, like, Mom, I'm having shortness of breath. But he also had his life vest on and everything like that. So I'm like, okay, you want me to take you to the emergency room? He's like, no, I'm gonna just go get in the shower and the steam helps me. He's like, I'm gonna sit in the tub and the steam helped me. So he did all the stuff that he does on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then around 3 o'clock in the morning, I just hear this big loud ass noise. So I'm calling my son like, Akai, and he had normally answer like, yeah, Mom. So he didn't answer. So I call him again, Akai. He still didn't answer. So I look downstairs and I see my son laying on the floor. So I ran down there. I can't even tell you how fast I got down the stairs, but I
Right.
ran down the
Yeah.
stairs. And I go feel him, of course. So he's still warm. So I'm screaming at this time. I'm screaming, and then my
Yeah.
other son come running down there too. So then he was unresponsive. I felt his heart. It wasn't beating. So my son is on the phone with the paramedics, of course. So it seemed like it took forever for them to come, but they probably came in about 5 minutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So then they did everything that they could do. So they finally got him to get a pulse. So then we go to the hospital and they had him on life support.
Mm.
Um, and then they transfer him to this at this time they transfer him to the same hospital that did absolutely nothing for him. So this one they supposed to this time they transfer him there to put the stem in his heart so that they can transfer him to San Diego. So they finally approved it to get him turned, but it was obviously too late. But they was trying to do the stem, and my son passed away literally on the table of them trying to do the procedure. But to backtrack a little bit, we was in the hospital like literally all day that day, and the girl, of course, coming there and was like, "We had to resuscitate your son." So I know what resuscitate means. So I'm looking like, "No, let me go see my son. Let me go see my fucking son." And then
Yeah.
she like, "No, no, look." And then she like, "Let me ask the doctor." I'm like, "I don't need you to ask the fucking doctor. Like, this is my son. Let me go see my
Right.
fucking son." And then,
Right.
so as I'm following her back to the room, right, I hear them say "cold blue" on the thing, and then I seen all the people come running in there. So she tried to stop me at the door. I'm like, no, I'm gonna come in here
Right.
with you guys because not knowing that the code blue was for my son at the time, I just hear him say it and run in there, right? So from the time that she first told me about the resuscitation part, maybe 10 minutes had went by. So we go down there and I look in the room. They didn't even know I was standing there. To be honest, they didn't even know I was standing there. And I see them doing the CPR on my son and trying to resuscitate him and stuff. So I probably stood there for about 2 or 3 minutes before I said anything. I'm over there just like in like shocked that my son is there and I see his body going up and down. So then I was like, I told the guy that was standing there, like, I want to go over here with my son now. And he's like, do you want us to stop the CPR? I'm like, no, no, I don't. So they did it for maybe about 10 more minutes, but I got sad just seeing them sitting there doing it, and he's like really lifeless at this time.
Yeah.
So I finally tell him like, yes, you can stop the CPR, right? And then so he told them to stop it. So they're unplugging the machines and stuff like that. And then so I go over there, hold his hand, give him a hug, and then I just felt his last breath like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I just felt that. So that put a smile on my face, but then I started like pouring back crying and stuff like that. But pretty much I just feel like this is my first son, so well, first child. Um
Oh, Jesus.
okay, this is just sad.
It is.
And then I know that my son was waiting on his son to hurry up and turn like one so he could like take him places and walk with him. So my grandson is like literally a split image of my son. So looking at him, it like really brings me joy.
Yeah. At least you got a piece of them. It's,
Yes, but I know it ain't the same because
I
I love
know.
my baby.
I
Don't get
know.
don't get me wrong, I love my grandson, but
But it's not the same. It's not the
yeah.
same.
So what I
Absolutely.
had to just tell myself because I only have two boys, so one passed away, now another one. So I just have to finally like tell myself like I need to be stronger for my other son because I don't really want him to see me like this. Yeah, yeah. Saying I basically feel like even though I know it's state like Medicaid is state, but I really feel like they could have did better because if they would have like
Absolutely.
approved my son to go get the transplant that he needed, I feel like he probably would still be here. But I know that God probably had better plans for my son too. So and I did question God
Yeah.
like why take my son,
Yeah.
but I understand now though.
I read a poem that God takes him young because he needs joy in heaven. He needs joy.
Yeah.
I read a poem and it sort of and nothing eases your pain for real. It
Not at
really
all.
doesn't ease
Like
it,
not
but
at all.
it's sort of like it gave me some comfort when I read that poem when it said, why does he take the young ones? Why the babies? Why the ones in their early 20s and their teenagers? And
Yeah.
it said that it's dull in heaven. He needs some joy up there, and the young ones are the joyous ones, and he needs laughter. So
Yeah, he was like so happy though. He like I know
yeah,
everybody be proud of their kids though, but he was
yeah,
like just really doing good and working, trying to be a dad.
yeah. Not in the
Like
streets.
literally doing everything that he was supposed to be doing. Don't get me wrong. Nope, he wasn't in the streets. So like
Good.
don't get me wrong, he wasn't perfect by far, but
Right.
he pretty much was just like just doing everything like he was supposed to be doing, and then I felt bad because I was kind of the one that talked him into getting the vaccination. He had to
Do
do it
you?
anyway, but I
That's
was
what I
kind of
was gonna
like,
ask. Do you think that
yes.
contributed to it?
Yeah, his doctor for sure said that that he got the vaccination from. I mean, him getting vaccinated is what caused his congestive heart failure because he been going to this doctor forever, so she know he didn't have no heart problem. I
Yeah,
like it, where would it have came from? Like nobody has heart problem,
yeah,
so no, she's for sure that it came from him getting the vaccination.
yeah,
And now it's coming out years later. Now
And
it's
yeah.
yeah,
Congress
yeah,
that this is
yes,
this to a lot of people.
yeah,
It is. That's why I never
yeah.
took it because it was just so out of the blue. Like within a year, y'all come out with a vaccination of a national virus that like
And what's crazy is because when I got the vaccination in 2021, I got COVID right after that, and like was on life support as well right after the vaccination. So literally, I went the whole 2020 without getting vaccinated, and then when my job said we have to have it to get to work there, type thing, I was like, oh well, shit,
I
I
need my
wasn't gonna
job.
get it.
Yeah,
Yes, yes, and
yeah.
then I got COVID literally right after that. So that's what makes me feel bad for still even talking him into getting the vaccination.
You was just doing what you thought was right.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
was exactly.
You,
You just doing what a mama,
that's
same thing, you
That's
know.
me with me and my son. I sent my son to his daddy's house because I wanted him to have a dad. I wanted him to
Yes,
know his biological dad, even though he was a drug dealer. So
and then I also feel like when he first came, the same day that he was found unresponsive, like when he was like when he first came up there and said he having shortness of breath. So, but it was normal for him to say no because he would come tell me when he really want to go to the emergency room. But I feel
hmm
like I'd be feeling bad because I feel like I should have just went on ahead and took him when he first said it again. Anyways, that same day.
we're
But my
that's we can always find after a kid, after we lose a
yes,
child, we always look at the what we could have done and stuff. And I
yes,
find myself doing that
yes,
too. I should have, could have, would
yes,
have, but it
yeah.
played out how it was supposed to play out.
I say that too. Yes, exactly. Because I feel like it probably wouldn't have mattered if I would have did it anyways or
What
whatever.
if they
But
would have denied him then? It's the
yes,
same thing.
yes.
They didn't even approve him until he was dying, like literally.
Yes, my
So
point exactly. My point
yeah,
exactly. Like he had to literally go into
yeah,
cardiac arrest because that's what happened. They said he went into cardiac arrest, so he had to
yeah,
literally go into cardiac arrest for Medicaid to approve him to get airlifted to go to San
yeah.
Diego for the transplant. Yes,
It's not your fault, mama. It's not your
yes,
fault. It's hard here. I mean, it's easier for us
yeah,
to say that on the outside looking in, but me too. Like people tell me all the time, it wasn't your fault. This ain't your burden to
yeah,
carry. The dad was
yeah,
wrong, but I'm like,
yes,
I sent him to his dad. So,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
we. I think we all carry a little
yes, of
survivor's
course,
guilt. Yeah,
yes.
That's
yeah,
what I wanted to
So
say.
that's pretty much his story in a nutshell. So
yeah. I'm so sorry.
thank you, and I'm so sorry for yours too, your little baby.
Yeah,
And he's three,
thank
and my
you.
grandson is 3 years old too. And I be wishing my son, was here to see how he is, like, cause he
In
literally is
spirit,
like, huh?
in spirit.
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
you.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
That's for sure. And I definitely remind my grandson of his dad every day. Like when I
that's
have
good.
him, I'm like, here, who? I'd be like, who is that? And he'd be like, Daddy.
Oh,
So,
that's good.
cause I know
Yes.
I don't think he will remember him literally because he was just literally like about to turn 1.
Yeah.
Oh,
when
they
Pac passed
remember.
away.
They
Yeah.
remember, and the more you keep his
Yep.
photo,
Oh, I do.
Hmm.
yeah,
No, I
you'd
Yep.
be
do.
amazed what
Yes.
them babies remember. The more
Yeah.
Yes.
my
Okay. Cause
daughters,
yeah,
the
for sure.
twins, they only met this one right here 2 times,
Yeah.
Oh.
but
Yes.
they will
Okay.
call his name every day. They be like,
Yeah.
Winnie, because we
As
call
long as you keep him
him
alive,
Oh,
he'll
I
be
yeah,
do.
alive.
Look,
yeah.
Yeah.
you can ask you can ask someone. I talk about my
Yes,
son
she
every
does.
day.
Yes, she does. That's why I'm like, I commend her because
Yes, every
I'm
day.
a minister, right? Like,
Yeah.
I can't be, I can, and my people know that I will, but they hold you to a higher, stricter standard. If
Yeah.
I didn't have people like you, a woman of God, what kind of, example is you leaving for others who have lost? And me, because I love God, but I like to throw these things too, I'll be like, look, I don't want to. I don't want to cuss them out, in that moment. I don't want to beat them up in that moment.
Yeah.
So I don't post my children as much. And there is a guilt, but I
Yes.
really salute you for both of y'all for posting y'all children.
Look, girl.
Always. I
Yes.
feel
Look.
guilty because sometimes I post him more than I post my other ones, but
That no, you wanna know what's crazy? That's how I be feeling too.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
don't
I
get me
don't
wrong. I
post
do.
mine to protect them because I have had some of the most vilest thing, and I don't know what this stigma is. When young black boys or young black men pass away, it's always associated with some type of gang banging.
Yeah.
Oh, that is
Something like,
crazy.
did he get shot? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you right
Yes.
now, if somebody shot
Yes.
mine, I would have me a prison ministry because no, my kid did not get shot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh
that is not
no,
everybody's story.
Tawana, that's crazy because it's always somebody that asks me how did he get murdered. That's the first thing that
Yeah.
they say is
Yeah.
did he get murdered? And did I'm
Yeah.
like, no, he did
So
not.
They
because
But they
automatically
say that.
think that.
Yes,
Yeah.
and because
yes,
it's real raw, and this ain't, I'm sure every mother is like this, but what I tell people, because some people grieve differently, right? When that love is real deep, that
yes.
pain is equally as deep. And
Yeah.
my pain is so deep that I just want to attack somebody. Don't come for my kids. Like, don't,
Yeah.
Yes.
you don't know what I had to go through to have them. You don't know
Yeah.
what it took for me to raise them. Like, don't come for my kids. So I just refuse to post them so that they don't be attacked and that I
Yeah.
don't be attacked and have
Yeah.
to a
Keeping
different
your
state of
peace.
mind. Right. I
Yeah.
just want to keep
Yeah.
My yeah,
clean
with my
because
story,
you can do
they
a
come at
million
me.
good, but that one time you do bad, they're
Yeah.
going to remember when
Yeah.
Yes.
you cuss them out. They're going to remember when you call them every alphabet in the
Right.
alphabet. Like, they're going to remember that. So I'll be like, yeah, no.
I get the his dad was a drug dealer and all that type of stuff, but I block him or I respond back, and or sometimes I don't even respond. I just block
I
him
was gonna
because
say that.
I
Yes.
got way
Yes.
more love than I
Yep.
do hate, so
Yep.
I don't even give it my energy no more. Entertaining the ones you knew he was a drug dealer and stuff like that. There's a lot of people out there because I don't know what you've
Yes.
been through when you're my understand. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, I'm not gonna say your name, Mama. Thacker, Miss
Shamika,
Thacker,
that's
Shamika.
my sister.
Okay, okay. I don't know. I won't mess it up.
Yeah, Shamika. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
they
But
all
yeah,
support because they
I
know
get
they
that a
been
lot.
supportive. I want to ask both of y'all,
Uh
and
huh.
we can take like a couple minutes. Have people have
Shamisha.
people that you thought was gonna be there for you left you?
Yes.
Um, with
Yep.
me, I got a big family.
Okay.
So it's seven of us. It's only six of us. One of us in jail, and he's getting out in a couple of years. But with my five other siblings, they are my biggest. Like my daddy taught us that. Well, we grew up on y'all are each other's friends. Y'all don't need friends. So I'm not really a friendly.
Oh,
I'm
got you.
friendly, but I don't have friends and associates. So
Yes.
I
I
wasn't
understand that.
expecting nobody to be there but my siblings, and they have not. They've been there. We do ever since Cash died, the month after we started doing a siblings gathering just because of Cash. They wanted we all cook something and bring it to somebody's house, and it's mainly over my house and my sister's house because we got the bigger houses and stuff. So yeah, we
That's
get our
beautiful. A
kids.
lot of my friends that I was there for them in their darkest hours,
Mm-hmm.
they're not nowhere to be around. And I think dealing with something like this and then dealing with something like this by yourself. I mean, my kids, that's who my go to is. And I actually have
Absolutely.
guilt about going to my kids because growing up, my kids didn't see me cry a whole lot. They saw me cry, but
Yeah,
not cry a whole lot. Now it's like I have to go to my kids to cry. And I'm supposed to be the one
Yes, that's how I
taking
be
them to
feeling.
and
Yes.
cry, but I don't
Yes.
have nobody else.
are you not married anymore?
I'm married, yeah,
Oh,
100%.
okay. Cause
So,
see,
so
that's
the
what I
reason why
feel.
I don't put it, so this is what happened when my first son, when he passed away, I could not do it. My husband had to do all of the arrangements, every last one of them. And because he is a protector to protect me,
Mm,
I never knew what he was dealing with deep down in anybody see any type of death, dead babies, that will mess you up. But
yeah,
I never had it wasn't like I was being absent minded that I guess because he was a man, I just figured he'd be stronger because I couldn't do it. So he did that. He planned the funeral. I couldn't even pick out a casket for my baby. I just couldn't believe that I even had to pick out a
Yep.
casket.
Yep.
exactly.
Yep.
So my
That
husband,
yeah, gut
Understand.
wrenching.
so his
Understand.
Superman suit, you know what I'm
Yep.
saying? And he got
Yeah,
it done. And then he really doesn't talk to me about it
yeah.
like
No,
that. Now there's
mine don't
times
either.
in passing because he wants to protect. Like I don't want to bring this up, and I know she
Yeah.
emotional about it. I believe I'm actually going to interview him next week because I,
Yeah.
as his wife, want to know how he feels. The second time around, I couldn't do it either. So now
Yes.
he didn't bury both of them. He carried it, paid for them, the graveyard, and after the second time because I couldn't do anything. I couldn't even take care of my kids. Taking a shower and all of that was not even
Yep.
I just wanted to
That's what
get
I was gonna say.
and
Yep.
lay down forever, okay?
Yes.
Yes.
But
Yes.
what
So we
happened was
understand.
one
We
day God was
understand.
like, pay attention to your husband.
Yeah.
And I saw that my husband in the span of I say 2 to 3 months, he had lost like 150 pounds.
Oh wow.
Literally, we
Wow.
we had to take him out of town to Atlanta to save his life, and
Oh.
Wow.
I did not know the weight that came with that.
Yeah.
So me constantly going to my husband and my kids, I know that is because they can't do nothing. People who
Hmm.
love you and can't help you, it's worse for them, especially your kids, because your
Yes.
kids never
Yes.
want to see their mama going through
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
enrages them, and then your husband or your mate, your protector, they don't want to see you going through anything because men, if they can't solve it, they'll move on. It's like if I can't solve the problem, then let
Yeah.
me on. But in the first beginning, I was like, he don't grieve like I grieve. Like you ain't
Yeah.
crying enough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Me
Why you
too.
ain't talking about it enough? You know? So I was
Me
like, I'm
Yep.
gonna
too.
stop talking to you all together because you act like you not. But God had to check me. Like he deal with
Yes.
his grief in a different way, but you don't even know.
Mine
Like
too.
he's bearing this in his body. So I have my husband. He is my best friend in the whole world. We've been married 18 years together.
Hey.
You know, he ain't
Yes.
going nowhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nowhere. We got an old school.
Yes.
Listen, if we fall out, I'm gonna be in that room. He gonna be in
He
that
gonna
room.
be in that
You're
other
right.
one.
I stopped putting
Yes.
so much pressure
Yes.
on him to take care because he don't have no males that identify with
Yep.
them
Yeah.
losing a child and he can
Yep.
talk to as well. So he come to me and he tell me like, I don't got a lot of people I could talk to. And so therefore I have to I have to either get on the phone with my kids, when it's
Yeah.
swelling up, or I either have to go to God. Going to God is my main source. But we are human beings, and we do need. I was more devastated that people that when they mamas and stuff was on ICU, and when they lost people in their life, I was standing 10 toes down. And then
Yeah.
my baby, I've had people tell me I don't know what to say to you, so I just unfriended you. Like I don't know how to help you, so I
Oh,
unfriended you.
Yeah, that's
oh
crazy.
gosh. Those weren't friends.
Don't worry, but
Those
these
weren't
been
friends.
friends for years, decades. No, they weren't, and God had to make me see that at
And
this
somebody
point.
told
Right.
me when people was commenting things like that on
Right.
my posts and stuff, somebody, because I was talking about how my followers when I got married, a lot of people unfollowed me and stuff, and I'm like, move out the way for the real followers, and somebody was like, I was just weeding out the negative ones so the real ones can come. So it didn't phase me, but I seen it, I took
I'm
note to
good
it, but
now. It still stings a little bit, you know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I'm more
yeah,
discerning
of
now,
course
but
when you
I
pour
just
into
didn't
other people,
understand that. It's like
yeah. Are you an Aries?
I'm
Because
I'm I'm
we
January.
we
January.
were asleep.
Yeah.
Hey, we get hurt when we giving out love and nobody can give it back. Like,
You
wow.
got one time to do that to me, baby. It is over with. I'm one of
Hmm.
the people that I
Right.
can know you for 50 years, baby. You play with me like that. Listen, you can walk right past me. I'll be like, oh, okay. Like I didn't even see you. Like
Yeah,
for real, because I love extremely hard. I
me
give
too.
extremely hard. I
Me too.
serve extremely hard. And I don't do it for anything in return. But baby, if I ever get in need, or if I ever get down and the same type of momentum is not returned,
Yeah,
it's like we're done. And that's
yeah.
really painful to me that I was there for a lot of people. And right in my weakest, darkest hour,
Oh, can
when
you
you
guys
go
hear me?
through this, when you go through death,
Oh,
everything about you, your money changes. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
To work. How you getting up, encouraging everything about you
yep.
changes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
So
for
you
sure.
I'm
can't
learning. I'm
change
learning me.
your yeah,
I'm
it's
learning me all over.
me
Yeah,
too.
'cause when
Me
my baby died, it was like I went back after 3 weeks. I went to work, and me and my husband we was working at the same job at the time. So he went back at 2 weeks, and then at the third week I went back. But it was like I couldn't sit in the house. I didn't want to sit in the house because I was in the house by myself, and
yeah,
all them feelings was just
Yep.
hitting me. And I'm
Yep.
like, I'm
That's
calling
for
him. I
sure.
need you. I need
Yep.
So I went back to work just to because my cousin she had lost her 2-year old. It's been about 26 years now, but she was like at the after the funeral and stuff because there was moments after the funeral like I went and did the arrangements because he was 3 but he looked 2. He actually got buried in a 2-year-old casket because he was so
Oh,
small. I love that
yeah.
about him, and that's why I said
yeah,
this was God's plan because his stature was so small, but his daddy and me, we aren't like little or big.
yeah,
I'm small compared to his dad, but I was like, why is he so small?
yeah,
Like he was in 2T and he was 3 years old. He was in 24-month clothes,
yeah.
like,
That's how my
Yeah.
yeah.
baby is
Yeah.
now.
So,
She 5. She still be like 3 2. I'm like, girl.
yes.
But
And
they
it's
be
fun size.
dynamites in them little bitty
Yeah.
bodies. They be
Yeah, and it was
powerful.
like it was I felt like it was God's plan immediately because when I went to do the arrangements, they was like if he's 3, 4 or bigger, he's gonna have to go in a 3-year-old casket, which is just as much as an adult casket, which is $8,000.
Yeah.
Well, my sister had went back there to see the caskets before me while we was doing the arrangements and stuff, and she was like, I see this perfect casket for him, sis. And she's crying and stuff. It's beautiful. So we go back there and we go to look at the 3-year-old casket. I'm like, nah, that's too big for him. He's small.
Yeah.
So we
Right.
go to the 2-year-old casket, which is the blue casket that he's buried in. And it was perfect for him. He was 3'2", and the casket was for 3'4" child, which is the average weight for a 2-year-old or height for a 2-year-old. But he was a fun
And
size. He
he
was
was
small.
fly. He
And
was so
so,
fly. I gotta pull his picture up here because he
mm,
was sharper than a thumbtack. I was
yeah,
like,
and God,
he is the big
Yeah.
one.
God,
Yeah.
God made that burden easy for me to bury him. I didn't have to come out of pocket for nothing. The guy at the funeral home, he knew my family, and he went to our church when we was younger. So he waived the limousine fees. We only
Oh,
had to pay for the
yeah.
casket and the plot, and
Yes.
I didn't pay for it. A Cozer's charity, they paid for it because they thought he was two, and a 2 year old and under, they get their funerals are free. So if they die at the hospital. So he was declared dead at the hospital. So the charity paid for it. So I didn't come out of pocket for nothing, and his daddy paid for his headstone. So it was like it was a easy transition for. No, my baby,
That's
my
baby
baby.
Cash, y'all. Look at him. Him so
Yes.
cute.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
that's
a
my
twin.
baby.
This a miracle man right here, baby Cash.
It's my
Y'all ain't
baby.
gonna ever forget his
Yeah.
name. This is baby
Yeah,
Cash.
he's definitely making his mark, and I'm just
Yeah,
trying
look
to.
at
My
baby
my
Cash.
goal is to make him proud. I gotta make him
Yes,
Yes, of
proud,
course. And you're making
And
him proud.
every
You making
and
him
every
proud.
year I get clean is every year he's supposed to be of age. So like this
Exactly.
year I got
Yes.
6 years
Yes.
clean, and
yes.
he would have been 6 this year. So
That
Well,
is
that's
such
my
a
that's
congratulations
blessing.
my
on
When is
that.
his
thank
That's
you.
birthday?
always a good thing.
When's his
Yeah,
birthday?
his
When was
birthday's October the 9th of 2019.
okay,
So
October 9th.
and
Okay.
his
Mm.
and that's another thing. He was perfect. Like literally his birthday is 10/9/19. So
Wow.
that's, yeah, 10/9/19. So 10 plus 9 is 19. And then he died 4/19/23. And 4 plus 9 is 23. I, I
Right.
chose I chose the day he came into this world, and God chose the day he went out, and it was both
Right.
perfect. Both
Yes, it
perfect.
was.
Both perfect.
Yes, this is
So
baby Cash. He is so cute,
thank
so
you.
handsome. We
Thank
are
you.
fighting for you. Now I'm gonna share how you say his name? Akai, sis. Am I saying it correctly? Akai?
Is that how you say your baby's name?
She might have went out, but let me
Mm-mm,
show.
she's right there. I see her.
Is she muted?
I don't know. Are you muted, Miss Lady? Is that him? Oh, he was handsome.
Yes, this is him.
Oh, I think you're saying his name right though, because I was gonna ask her, was it a Kai too? Oh, look at that
Oh,
smile.
I couldn't even hear you guys. Did you guys say anything? I'm
We didn't hear
battery about to
you.
die.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now. We was
Okay.
asking you how you pronounce his name. Is it Akai?
Yes.
I
Okay,
love
it is.
that.
Thank
It is.
What does
you.
it mean? What does the Kai mean?
It just means red in Japanese.
I
Oh,
like that though. It's cute. He's
Thank
your
he
you.
look,
twin.
he look like a
He
red bone.
Mm,
Yeah, he
he
look
looked
like
just
a
like her.
yes.
no.
Both of
Yeah,
her children
look, I
do.
miss my baby like so
I
much.
I
know.
can imagine.
My
And you can
firstborn.
always see them playing. They love their mama. They always play, had jokes. I mean
Yes,
the
exactly. And
best
I miss all of
son
that.
and
All
mama.
of it.
Yeah, I know you
Yeah,
for sure.
All
Yeah.
of
I
it.
know.
And that's why and
My
that's
son
why when
has
we were saying I'm sorry, go ahead.
no go,
No,
go.
and that's why I pretty much said like when I was saying instead of me just being down all the time because I know I got another son,
Yes.
and him and his brother was like, you may as well say, well, I should have had some twins to be honest, because they were like they was just together. You would not see one without the other, like for real, like
Yes.
and like right now. It was like they like I really am my brother's keeper type because but I want Tawana for you next time when you come on I want to see if his brother want to tell like his side of the
Yes.
story.
Yes,
Mhm.
please let them come on.
Yes.
Siblings. So the next episode will be siblings because
Okay.
I want the kids.
Yes.
I want them to come on. The reason why I want hold on, let me fix us all on the screen how we was. The reason why
Okay.
I want the siblings to come on is because they hurt real bad too. And
Yes.
Hmm.
we lose
Yes.
these children, we do tend to all the energy, the attention, all of that goes to them. And
Yep.
it's not done intentionally. It's just this is something that has happened traumatic and I'm trying to learn to live through it. But I
Yes.
know as a parent, and I share this with my kids and try to be there a lot more. Like when the first baby died, it was like isolation. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I didn't really know what to say, but they do hurt in their own ways. And whenever they used to try to
Yes.
come tell me about it, me trying to take that on already dealing with the depths of the pain was even more painfuler because I couldn't help them. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? I know you hurting, but I can't help. And we as mothers, that's what we do. We nurture when our children hurt. And so I want them to tell from their perspective because
Yes.
they are in pain. I know
Yep.
your baby. I know all of your kids. When they get close and they
Yeah.
Yep.
grow up in proximity, or you got, one way up here and one way down here, that one
Right.
Yeah.
way up here will act like that one down there is their child. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
it's so painful for them. So I definitely want the siblings to come on next week. We do it every Tuesday. This was the
Okay.
first day instead of me lighting candles and balloons because that type of stuff used to make me really, really mad. I said I'm
Yeah.
gonna do something different, and today was the day that I said I'm gonna just share his story. And I really feel
Yeah.
like weight has been lifted by me being able to be here in the proximity of other sisters who is on this same journey. So this was
Yeah.
a beautiful birthday. I hope that I made him proud. But I want to bring on fathers or stepfathers. My husband is a not a biological father, but he's a father nonetheless because he raised
Yes.
them. So I want
Yeah.
and other men, I want grandparents. So the world knows how to handle us, what we're dealing with. You know,
Yeah.
don't just kick us to because it's all pumped up. The funeral, after the funeral,
Yes.
that's when we need you.
Yeah.
Yep.
After the
After the
funeral.
Yep.
funeral, we
I
need
That-
you
most
real
I
bad.
can
definitely.
I can
Yes.
double back to that question about did anybody, fall off, I guess, after the funeral and stuff that you thought was gonna be there. Cause if you look through my photos, going back 2 years on his first his first heavenly birthday, I had like 50 people out there with me, and then the next year, last year, it was only my immediate family. So it was like, where are y'all? Like y'all just thought
Yeah.
that this is the everlasting thing, where are
I be
y'all?
telling on
So
my
Forever.
son
Yes.
page, like, you little stupid bastards.
right,
Tell my
right.
kids, I said I can't even go because it's like, why y'all ain't
Yes.
show my baby no
Yes.
love? Y'all was all there. You know what I'm saying? I love
Yeah,
God,
No,
and
for real.
I
For
don't
real.
profess to be perfect. You know what I'm saying? There are
yeah,
still things within me that He is working through, but I love my kids. Don't be with that fake love. You show up,
Yep.
everybody want to get in on the photo op. We
you're
need
right.
to hear after. You know what I'm saying?
Right. We
So
need you after. Yeah,
pages,
Yes.
I'll be like, you little punk bastards ain't show my baby no. My kids
yeah,
be like, Mama, you going in on his? I don't care, but yeah,
yeah.
I definitely I've had a lot of that, but I'm in a good place now.
Hmm.
It took me oh it took me a lot to get used to being with by myself, you know what I'm saying? Not just relying solely on God. And what God shares is that we're never alone on this journey. He
Yeah,
will
Yes.
send people with similar stories.
yeah.
You know
He
what I'm saying?
definitely sent me an army. He
And
definitely
Yes.
then
sent me
I
an
don't
army.
like when people come and be like, I'm gonna just share this and I'm gonna let y'all go because we've been here for 3 hours, but it's just so therapeutic and refreshing. But
It
one thing
is.
I absolutely can't stand for all of the listeners, okay? I
Right.
cannot stand this right here at all. Well, you got other kids.
Yes. Oh
that
my gosh.
Well, you
Yes.
got other kids. I'll be like, so what?
Which
I
one could
know
you
I
live
no,
got
without?
other
for
kids,
real.
Yeah.
but
Yes.
I don't got
Yes.
those ones.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the
Right.
problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I want to teach people. I use these as teachable moments how to handle me. I'm not the same person.
Yes.
Exactly.
And
And
not
I
to
had
Yeah.
be
to come
exactly.
to the realization that I'm not the same. I'm not going to be the
Yes.
same you used to know. There's certain things you can't play with me about,
Yep.
Yeah.
now that you
Yep.
used to can get away with then.
Yeah.
It comes with a level of PSTD, real talk,
Yep.
like
Yeah.
post traumatic stress disorder. I've
Yep.
never thought about seeing a therapist
Yep.
outside of when I try to go tell a therapist on my husband. Like we need to get him, but I've never wanted. I needed to see a therapist up until like this second where I really begin to see my mental health.
Yes.
Take a
That's
toll.
how I felt. To be honest, I felt like that too. But because everybody, like, still to today, like everybody would tell me that I need therapy, which of course I really do feel like that sometimes mentally. But I also feel like I don't feel like it's gonna help me because I'm gonna still
Yep,
feel
because
how
they
I
didn't know.
feel.
I'm
They
not
don't know your
going to
baby.
therapy. I told my husband I will beat my therapist
Thank you,
up if
Layla.
she try to
Or
act like
Lala.
Yes.
she understand what I'm going through and try to coach me from a textbook. You can't coach from a
Yeah.
textbook
My
with this.
point
No, you
exactly.
Have
can't.
to
Exactly.
live through this to be able to
Yes.
help me. So I'll be
Yes.
like, you go in there and piss me off with one of these, hey, textbook. I've been attacked you.
That's
You know
why
what
I
I'm saying?
don't
My
do.
point
That's why I
exactly.
don't do therapy because
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, that therapist ain't lost a child. You was
No.
Right.
trained to. You was trained to
Right.
talk like this,
Right.
so
My
you have
point
no idea
exactly.
the
Like
shoes
by
I'm
the book.
walking. So
Yes.
no,
Yes.
Yeah.
no.
Okay. So
My
it's not just
therapy
me then.
is Facebook and venting on there because the uplifting messages and stuff I
Yes.
get from
Okay.
around the
Yes.
world. That
Right.
Sue, I be crying my head off while I'm reading the messages, but
Yes. Yes.
it's a comfort, It's like
Yeah.
I can't get that from a therapist. It's only going to be 1 hour when I can go on Facebook and get this all day,
Right.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, real talk. They'll let
I
you tell
choose
them.
my
And shout
battles.
out to y'all.
Yes.
Shout out
Yes.
to those that are watching from Ashley's page, to those that are watching from Kalila's page, from those that's been rocking with me. I will never ever tell y'all that I don't love y'all. Shout out to my mom and them. They didn't been in the chat for 3 hours. Shout out to my sister them. Shout out to all
Yes.
of y'all because when
That's
I
Yes.
do have
amazing.
my meltdowns, I do come to social media. I'll be like,
Yep.
I'm
Yes. Of
so pissed
course.
off. Blah, blah, blah. They be like, it's okay, Dr. T. So I shout out to y'all that's been rocking with us. Y'all, I mean, really, you sit here listening to Ashley, Sister Ashley, tell y'all that you guys do matter. And
Mhm.
regardless of who we lost, we're very grateful of the people that we've never met in the physical
Right.
that support us. So shout out to y'all.
Right.
We love y'all and we really truly appreciate y'all. I got some riders up in the chat that are, they're like, don't come over here messing with sis over here on this.
Yeah, me
That's
Yes.
some
too.
like
Yeah.
that. So
Me
I'm
Yeah.
too.
grateful. But yeah, this has been so uplifting. Anybody that you guys know, I did go to your page and saw all those little bitty babies that, when I inbox you,
Yeah.
I hope that they will find the strength to tell their stories. I do realize that when you talk about it, it is more healing for us when
Mhm.
we talk about it. So share your story, write your book, if
Yeah.
you have a book, because there is a book after this. There is a book. And why I say that more so is because it used to be abnormal to lose your child. I'm
Yeah.
46. I'm born in 70s, right?
Yeah.
79. So losing a child was like a rarity. Somebody lose their child, be like, oh my God, like what happened? Now it's a norm. Every
Yeah.
day, every hour, every second, somebody then lost their child. And I
It's
know
sad.
God had to send some faithful ones that could lift this weight and then lift others out of the pit, because I've seen people, everybody is not at this place where we at. They
Yeah.
don't have nothing to do with God. They hate God. They mad at God. They don't
Yeah.
understand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So your story will be the change and the hope and the strength to help somebody. So tell it, tell it, tell it. I don't care if nobody want to hear it. Write you a book about it. Okay. I know it's probably hard to journal, but
Mm-mm.
here's,
I
you
love
know,
the journal.
I do too. I'm a scribe. I
Yeah.
love to
Yeah.
journal,
She said, write it
but
down.
I love using AI
Yeah.
because
I only used AI one time and that was for the petition, but it did well.
you
It
can
did
write
well.
your book in one day with
I
AI.
know. My
You
daddy
just
tells
go
me
in
that
there
all the
and tell
time.
it, hey, this is
Yeah.
what the story is.
Yeah.
This is what happened. It'll get you all the way together. So I definitely want to encourage you guys. Tell your story. Let your light shine. You don't look like what you've been through.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I'm sorry that this has happened to all of us. I'm also grateful that God could entrust us with this and that He's not. I tell people all the time, I'm broke, but I'm not breaking. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Broken, but
Yes.
I'm not breaking. And
Yeah.
baby,
Yeah.
if somebody, baby, around me, something go down or happen, I tell you that mother instinct will kick up inside of you.
Always.
Hey, Satan,
Always.
it will
Yes.
Yeah.
kick up on
Yes.
the inside of you,
Me
literally.
too.
yeah, that faith will rise real high. So I want to commend you guys. You guys definitely, they say y'all stories is changing lives, you know. I
No,
definitely, all those who would
thank you,
catch the
Portia.
replay, please go and follow. Let me pull their pages up here real quick so y'all know. If y'all don't mind, I'm gonna show you Kalila. She needs support as well. You know, we all do need support. Don't be on no funny stuff because I'm gonna tell y'all about Kalila. We grew up in middle school. We was fighting riots in middle school. You know what I'm saying? We started riots in middle school. She will
Girl,
fight
no.
y'all. Okay, I'm gonna just
Oh,
tell y'all right now. She will fight y'all and cut y'all completely out. So
Oh
don't hear
no.
drama over
she
there going
is
to my
too
sister's pages.
funny.
And then I done seen Sister Ashley like, y'all better back the hell up over here.
Oh
Don't
man, don't
talk
come on. Look,
that,
don't
you know.
come on my page with the foolishness. I don't even
Yeah,
got to
do
do
not come
nothing.
for me.
My
Yeah,
my baby's army, they do it for me. They be
yeah.
cussing out people, going to their inboxes,
No,
screenshotting
for real.
messages.
So this is
For
Ashley,
real.
highly favored. This is her page. Please go follow her, support her, whether you live or you guys over here on TikTok. Do y'all got a TikTok?
Yeah, I do.
I, I
Mine's
Okay.
don't
is
have TikTok.
mine's is on my page, so they can. It's on my
Okay.
links.
If you go to her page, her name on Facebook is Ashley High Favored Green.
Highly favored.
Highly favored, excuse me. Yep, that's
Yes,
right.
ma'am.
Ashley, highly favored Green Winters is her Facebook. Okay, let me turn it around so y'all can see it too. Take a screenshot real fast. Go follow my sisters. You know, show them mad love and support. Okay, it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to heal a mother that has been lost, suffered child loss. So this is Ashley's and Cash's page right here. And then we got Sister Kalila and did I say Asian, Akayan? How you say it, sister? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Akai, yeah.
Akai, Kalila,
Akai, yep.
and
Okay, Khalil Walker. Okay, I got
yes,
Yes.
you.
Yes,
yep.
ma'am.
This is their page. We follow everybody, and y'all already know. If you ain't following me, follow me. If you on that dumb stuff, don't follow me. Okay. But if you want you
She
for
said leave
building
it.
and you for standing up for the cause of the injustice and different things of that sort, I would love a follow. I really would. Sister
Awesome.
Jackie says she didn't lose a child, but she lost her mom. A loss is a loss, and
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I opened up this platform so that let me share it with y'all, my babies, real quick, so y'all see them. Just really fast. I did show y'all Kid Brian. I think I showed y'all Noodles, the one we call Noodles. But I'm also going to show you guys Kavan Ray. I think I shared it.
That
Let's.
is crazy. I have not heard of nobody with my son's name. I mean, I know it's Kavar Ray, but I've not
Yep.
heard of a Kavari at all.
And you know
At
what
all.
is really amazing? Even this here, the similarity of names. We all lost our babies in the same year, in
In
the
the
same,
same month.
Yes. Yes.
like
Yeah.
God did this. God really did this. I
Yeah.
know.
He brought us together.
Definitely.
He brought
Yes,
us together. We connect
he
in more
did.
ways than one.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. Let me see if I can find them real quick. Oh yeah, here they go. So this was my pest. Okay. He swear he like mama, I'm your twin. I'm like, boy, you do not look like me. But he was my twin and my pest. So this is Kavan Ray. He
He
was
definitely is your twin.
Oh wow. Yes. He's so
twin in my
handsome.
original. This is
Yes.
my
Yes.
baby. I miss you so
Yes.
much, honey. So
Oh,
that
he
is
was so
Kavan.
handsome. And now which
Yes.
one was this? The 15-year-old?
This is the forever 20-year-old. He didn't make
Okay,
it.
that Forever 20. Okay.
Yeah, he forever 20. He
Yes.
passed away at 20 from fentanyl poisoning. I will share his story probably next week because we've been
Okay.
here so long. But yeah, this is Kavan Ray, and then I will show you.
That is so cool, Kavare.
Yeah, I had this boy.
Yeah.
Listen, you boy, you
Look
gonna
at him.
see something great, boy. He used to be like, "Mama,
Oh, is that the 15-year-old?
no, that's the same one. It's the same kid. Yeah, this is the same
Okay.
one, Kavan Ray, and his
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm gonna show you now, Kev Ryan. It's
Now
his
this
birthday
little
today.
boy got your name almost, Kavare. That's
Yeah, you want to see him? Big head
I'm
Craig.
showing them to you.
We used to call him Bebo Lottie. Got more head than head got body. My
I
cousin,
cannot. You are funny. Yeah, where's one?
this Bebo
Bebo
Lottie
live.
Kamara.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
he has your name. Why you looking like it? Would you be willing to go on her podcast and talk about cash? How you feel?
We would love to see how much they played. This boy plays so
Yeah.
much. I'm like,
Yes.
this
Oh,
boy
he was so
was my
goofy.
best friend. Yes, he really was. He
I
really was.
know.
This
And
is my
see, that's the thing about the siblings. If anything, I'll bring my 23-year-old daughter because she got more time with my son.
Yes.
But the 15-year-old, he was adopted at the time, so he only
daughter.
got like the first year with cash.
He could talk about how I make him feel,
Yeah, he
anything he want to talk
horrible.
about.
He
So this
hates
is
it.
the
He
forever
hates it. He
15
took it
year old.
hard.
I
He took it
know.
hard because the day he comes back is the day he died. So he took it really hard.
Oh, well, you was your
Yes.
mama's
Yes.
saving
I can
grace.
only
Cash
imagine.
sent his brother back. Go take care of mama, bro. Go
You're
take.
right. That's
So
what
this
I
is the
say.
forever 15-year-old can finally get
Yeah. Oh, you
her.
have beautiful kids.
Mm-hmm.
They're so handsome.
Yeah, God did his big one with me. I was like, oh Lord, you did
You're
your
so
big
funny.
one with me. Thank you, Lord. Thank you.
Mm. I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Man,
But I love y'all. I don't have to know y'all to say, well, I know Kalila, but I
we
ain't gotta
love
know
you.
everybody to
Yes,
say
we
that
love you too.
I love y'all. And I'm so very honored to share this journey. Of course, I would never, ever, ever want to go through it again. But
Oh,
I am
of course.
grateful
Of course.
that,
Mhm.
Yes.
I get to share with such beautiful women. And like I said, if I do want to do something, maybe you guys, we can come together and do something, put something together. But I would
Mhm.
like to, moving forward, for mothers that are losing their children, I would like to put like a care package together. That first week where your food is
Were
taken
you
care
not
of.
eating and not
Yeah,
showering?
love to do
I
something for.
stuck for like three
Didn't want
days.
to do
Yeah,
absolutely nothing.
yeah, you don't want to do anything. So
Nothing.
I'm
Nothing.
trying to deploy
Nothing.
a team, find other volunteers in different states, and
Yeah.
see if they can show up. But you guys clap it up for Kalila and Ashley. Thank y'all so very much for you guys tapping
Yes.
in with me. Love you so
So
much,
thank you guys
Thank
for
y'all for listening and
listening.
staying on this long with
Yes, I
us.
love you too.
and TikTok, because they've been rocking over here, baby. Phone on 30%, but TikTok been rocking. They done gave
Right.
us what 15,000 likes over here. They have been
Oh,
Oh wow. Go ahead.
on TikTok, especially
That's
shout out to
awesome.
Portia
yes.
and all my other sisters. I appreciate y'all coming through, hanging out with us, and make sure y'all tell somebody. We don't want this to be the new normal, but it is the new
Right.
normal. And we
Right.
have
Right.
to educate about Medicaid. That was so shocking to me to hear that,
Yep.
Yeah.
Medicaid killed our
Yep.
children,
Yep.
all of this stuff. We got to stick together for the community, okay? We got to
Yes.
educate, we got to impact.
Yes.
And yeah, we love y'all and we
Thank you,
appreciate
Shanisha.
y'all. I will clip these up, send them to y'all. So if you
Okay.
guys
Of
want to share
course.
them with
Of
your
course.
Okay,
family,
awesome.
Of course.
send them to you. Have some
Awesome,
fun.
Thank
awesome.
All right,
you.
ladies. Y'all have a
Thank
good
y'all. Thank y'all for
Thank
having
you.
me.
You're very
Likewise.
See y'all
welcome. All right.
next
Good night,
Tuesday.
Yes,
y'all.
ma'am.
Tuesday. All right.
Bye bye.
Okay. Bye bye. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much. I absolutely feel better. I don't know if I don't think I'm a cry, but I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't really say because grief is so unpredictable. But your girl feel good, and I really appreciate y'all for rocking it out. I got half makeup, look like it is what it is. I'm gonna go spend the rest of the evening with my children. Shout out to my sister. She has been one of my rocks. Me and my sister didn't grow up in the same household together, but she is my sister, my blood sister, and she has been there in some of my darkest times. Um, like even in my good times, we celebrate a lot of memories. And so I just want to tell you, girlfriend, you already know I love you and I really appreciate you. And whether we grew up all of our life or not, it feels like we did. Like what we have been able to do and hang around and make new memories and stuff is really a blessing to me. So I just want you to know that I love you, girlfriend, and I appreciate you for rocking with us through the good, the bad, the ugly, and the indifferent. Love you, Sister Portia. Love you, Sister Jackie. I'm glad I'm feeling better too. I praise God for this day. So I'm gonna take the rest of the day to go hang out with my little people over here because I'm not gonna cap. I was agitated and they be just catching strays. You know, when you deal with this, you deal with different stages: agitation, anger, sadness, crying uncontrollably. And these little bitty people be like, we got your back. So I'm gonna go in here and spend some time with them before it is time for them to be put down. This was an amazing interview. And yeah, I appreciate y'all. If y'all can tap in next Tuesday, we're gonna have the siblings on. We're gonna bring everybody up who want to be brought up. Aunties, we want to hear your perspective. We want everybody to know because everybody is bothered or affected in a different way. You know, it's not just, oh, the mother and the dad lost their child. It's the sisters, it's the grandparents, it's the aunties and the uncles, it's the whole entire family. And if you guys are interested in telling your story, DM me, hit me up, and we will put you on the program, on the platform. With that being said, y'all have an extra special night. I love you, Lala, Montreva, Shanti. They have been my therapists, my kids. I owe them the entire world. Your mother is extremely sorry that, that I cry and break down in front of y'all a lot. Um, it's not intentional, but I wouldn't ask for a different set of kids. I love all my kids so very much, and I just want the best for my children. And they have really, really, really been a help in the present time. I thank God for my battalion and God giving me them. My mom, my brother. He just tried to call me, so I'm gonna try to check back in with him if it's not too late. Who will go out there and take pictures, with his nephews and release balloons and light candles. Everybody that have done that, you guys are the best, and you guys are amazing. Nana's here as well. Nana did not introduce herself. My oldest daughter, so I didn't see her in the chat, but my oldest daughter is in the chat as well. Hopefully she will come on next week and you guys will be able to hear from their perspective, from a sibling's perspective. So if you guys know anybody, if you guys, um, know of somebody, know somebody, or if it's you personally, I want to give you a platform. Most people don't know you do an interview like this. Those ladies don't even know. I can take their interview and transcribe it into a book using AI and hand them that gift just from them talking out their story. So, and the same thing can happen for you guys as well. Okay. So yeah, with that being said, Sister Michelle, I love you, girlfriend. I am praying for my baby. Okay. Just know that you are not alone. You're not by yourself. I am pleading the blood of Jesus over him. Okay. That this will not be his portion, not now, not ever. You stay strong. If you need anything, let me know. But I definitely have him uplifted in my prayer, and I am decreeing and speaking over his life. He will not die, but he will live to declare the works of the Lord. And anybody else, children that is, taking pills or anything like that, we got to heal these young people. That's why a lot of them turn to things and bad influence. And it don't even have to be that they out there doing drugs. They can just miss not having their fathers in their lives. And so now they're trying to go find a father figure who does not have good intentions for them. So we want to make sure that we support and we're here for the young people. If they ever need to talk to somebody, I'm the auntie. Send them this way, okay? If they out of line and out of pocket, send them right up over here because I will sit down and have that conversation with them in love. Hug on them, love on them, let them know how much we love them and how much we need them. With that being said, I love y'all and I'm out. I'm out. Peace out.